Yeah.
Let's try to do 4 hours if we can.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh,
like 2
okay.
hours each, maybe.
Yeah, and we are live. Oh, okay, 10 seconds. So, hey, everybody. I'm glad that we got that pre-stream conversation on stream. But
You might as well get the guests in on it, right?
if they show
We're
up.
letting them know what lies ahead.
Who knows? Okay, so with that being said, so Kamui, chapter 13 topics, except plot twist. Let's go to the comments first tab, and let's just do this first, I guess. Since, hey, if you want your comments read, and comment an interesting comment, one that's good enough for me to screenshot it, and I'll post it here. And then 3 months later, of which we're congested-wise, I'll get to it. And so our first comment from 3 hours ago, from whenever I took the screenshot, from Tuesday, May 28th. So the comment from May 28th says that they 100% disagree with the opinions in this video. Kamui, what do you think about that from the video from May 28th that he disagrees with? It's respectful,
so
of course.
Let's backtrack to what chapter that would have been. So, well, this is you said it's a video, right? Not a stream.
Yeah.
So that makes it even trickier,
yeah.
But let's just do one thing.
Okay, so going from 3 months before May 28th.
Okay, so September is chapter 14.
Beginning of the year.
August 13th.
So
July was 12.
Probably chapter 3
June was
before.
11th. May was chapter 10. Now, what day in May? In May 28th, you said. So it depends on whether we repositioned something from chapter 10 like pretty much immediately, or if that was a scheduled out video. If I had to guess, it's either a chapter 9 or chapter 10 topic, which means it's either saying Boruto versus Kawaki is bad, or it's anything and everything with Himawari Kurama nonsense. I think the Kurama nonsense is more likely to have been our focus, and so that is my guess for the topic. It relates to Himawari or Kurama. And probably Himawari in the pancakes, and it's probably a Mellow fan, and so they disagree with us. That's my prediction.
I love the Misa-like analysis. So getting into it, we have, honestly, it was hard to listen to the entire thing without clicking off. So let's just skip ahead to the part where he's saying, okay, here we go. I understand that Hima getting Kurama. Kurama, we got it right.
That's good.
Getting Kurama.
That's pretty awesome.
And surpassing Naruto right off the bat may rub some of the readers the wrong way, since Naruto spent years developing himself in his relationship with Kurama. Not really. He spent like 3 years developing his relationship with Kurama, and even then, he realistically spent like maybe a year.
In like a month.
Yeah, like
he did it in one day.
I would not say he had developed his relationship with Kurama through the end of part 1. Like, that was more of a Shippuden thing, where it even slightly begun. I'm not going to count his Land of Waves usage as his relationship with Kurama, nor him meeting Kurama when he summoned Gamabunta. It's not like he bonded with Kurama at all during the Sasuke mission or anything. So.
Yeah, most people just... I don't even want to say misunderstand, because there's nothing to misunderstand. They just assume that's the reason. And when I mentioned this in one of my chapter reviews, I made sure to get this like huge disclaimer where I'm like, it's not that. It's just the reasons that they gave. It's the whole the character flaw that Himawari supposedly needs to overcome to master this power, and then she proceeds to not do that and yet masters the power. That's what annoys me the most with that.
But Kamui, to say that it doesn't make any sense, or that there's no foreshadowing for chapter 9 or 10 of Two Blue Vortex, sounds so disingenuous that it makes it seem as though you're either trolling or you haven't actually paid any attention to Boruto Part 1 manga and anime canon.
So part of this depends on what they're counting as foreshadowing, and I'm going to ask you this, for example. So in chapter 8, Jura's looking for Naruto, and he explains, I'm sensing Kurama's chakra, then he pops up in front of Himawari. because to me, that's not really foreshadowing. That's the revelation moment. That's not foreshadowing Kurama. That's the revelation right then and there. Himawari has his chakra because there's no other reason for him to do that otherwise. Where would you stand on that? Is that the last
That's not
minute foreshadowing or the revelation? Let's start with that.
Yeah, that's definitely the revelation. That's more of like payoff in the sense that it's not even like a question and an answer, because we weren't asking the question of who. Well, I guess we were asking the question of what Kurama chakra he was seeking, but like we weren't asking in terms of Himawari necessarily.
I mean, like you might be theorizing, because I wouldn't be surprised if me or someone else mentioned like at the time, like, hey, I wonder if it's Himawari. But regardless of that, that's the moment of realization. Okay, Himawari has Kurama's chakra, so you can't count chapter 8. So what comes before it? Only one thing you can point to. There's only one extremely vague thing, which I'm fine with saying is a subtle piece of foreshadowing, but on its own, it doesn't really amount to much. And it's Damon sensing some intensity in Himawari. It's the only thing in the entire manga you can point to say any indication of anything related to Kurama. And even then, it definitely is not directly Kurama, and it doesn't even make sense to be Kurama because Damon's not afraid. Why would Damon be afraid of the Nine Tails when he's not afraid of being tenfold times stronger than the Ten Tails? Kurama ain't that intense. Not good old friendly Kurama being so intense, you know? So, and that easily could have been her lock-on. You want to talk about the anime? That could have been her lock-on mode he was sensing. It could have been something completely different. It's not an indication towards Kurama specifically. It's just a vague thing. You know, fine if you want to count it, but on its own, no, it's not like it was heavily foreshadowed at all.
Going back to what I was saying with the question-answer thing with Jura sensing the Nine Tails, usually you want to let a question like sit there with the audience before answering it. And so I don't think something like this that was answered so quickly counts as a question. For example, in Death Note, when Light meets whatever finds the Death Note, before picking it up, yeah, the audience is like questioning, is he gonna pick it? We don't know Light this is episode 1, and he just does it. He just picks it up. We're not sitting there wondering what he's gonna do. He just does it. It doesn't give us the time to ask the question, even if we're questioning it necessarily. So same with Jura here. There's also just too many factors or variables going into it that we just don't know what information Jura has. We didn't know why he came to the village in the first place, what he knows or doesn't know about Naruto, how he's sensing his chakra, etc. Who he even is, the reason they have targets. There's too many other things that we're either asking, focused on, or time passing that isn't allowing us to ask this question before it's just straight up answered. Like, he's just like, oh yeah,
actually,
I'm sensing the Nine Tails, oh, there's Himawari.
Because up until like probably the page before, like there might be a couple of pages of like Shik and I talking in between, but the scene before anyway, we're not like, as far as we're led to believe, Jura just assumed Naruto was alive and being Hokage, as would be kind of normal to expect. Based off the knowledge he just seemingly was bored with. So it just seems like he's just going there because he expects him to be there. He doesn't say before the invasion or early in the invasion, oh, I sense Kurama's chakra in the Leaf Village, so Naruto must be there. No, he's just making what appears to be a logical assumption. And it's not until like the page before that he mentions, oh, I sense Biju chakra. That's how I'm sensing Naruto. And then the next page, or the next scene at least, I'll look real quick. But basically immediately after, you get the revelation. Oh, it's like you asked a question, got the answer the next page, but you weren't asking the question before that. So it's like, you know, it's just one page of the manga makes you ask a question, then the next page of the manga answered the question. There was basically no time to sit on it. Like the amount, you had 10 seconds to sit on it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he just like,
no, it literally is. Okay, Kurama. It's 2 pages later. There's one page of everyone, like Chimino, Shikacho, and Sarada running. The page after that, Jura arrives.
Yeah, usually you want at least one scene, probably between a question and answer. You don't just want to answer a question in the same scene and
I'm not counting that as a scene.
question. Yeah, exactly. For example, again, going with the Death Note example, freaking episode 2 this time instead of episode 1. You get Light versus L, their first real match or whatever, with it Lind L Taylor. You're not asking, oh man, what's Light gonna do when reaction to L revealing? He just kills him. And then you get the reveal, oh, it wasn't actually L. And then you're like, oh wow, now what's gonna happen? And then you get the whole rest of the series. But you don't get the time really spent there to be like, oh, what's Light gonna do? He just does it.
Yeah. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but because in that case, it wasn't meant for you to be asking the question. You were just meant to watch, I think. Whereas for the Kurama one, it could have been a question, like it reasonably would have been a question if it wasn't revealed immediately.
Yeah.
Like if it was revealed 3 chapters later, it would have been the topic of discussion. It would have been the question to ask.
Yeah. So by the way, since he says that it's disingenuous to say that it makes no sense, what do you think the video title was?
Oh, it's something probably like...
Yeah, it's X makes no sense, but the question
is,
is, what is it? Yeah, Kurama's chakra. I'm gonna guess it's Himawari's 9 tails makes no sense.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Yeah. So this comment goes on. So he's mentioning like the Parent-Child Day novel illustrated by Kishimoto himself and released in Japan in 2018. The second installment of the Naruto
That's not
Shinden
foreshadowing.
series. And the Naruto Gaiden and Boruto the movie.
Himawari thinking Kurama's toy is cute is not foreshadowing. By that logic, they foreshadowed Himawari would be the Jinchuriki of Shukaku because she thought Shukaku himself was cute.
But Kamui, the one anime episode that adapted the novel with the baby Kurama plushie.
Like, if anything, the Shukaku one's stronger because at least it was Shukaku himself.
But Kamui, this was not a coincidence by far. It was actually pretty well thought out, if you ask me. Early in the manga, we get a panel with Momoshiki telling Naruto that it's a shame that he possesses so much power, and you already know the rest of that. It's a Chekhov's gun that would eventually be revisited sometime in the future. Seems like foreshadowing to me, but maybe I'm just crazy. That's not
Wait,
what
no, you are just crazy because it wasn't revisited in the future. Momoshiki has had 0 comment on it, and in fact, nobody has commented on that. And he was talking about Boruto because that's all he was looking at, and Boruto seemingly didn't get it.
Even if it was Himawari, it's still the opposite of a Chekhov's gun. it's not like Momoshiki's like saying, oh, Fox, I can't believe in the future you pass down your power. He's saying the opposite of that. So, you would unload the gun. Anything, You would shoot the bullet into the chamber. Anyways, did you know that even the Omnipotence plot twist with Kawaki and Boruto switching places was foreshadowed at least a few times in the anime? Yeah, even before Kawaki was officially introduced later in the story, Kishimoto was already planning to switch them up and take everything away from Boruto. Man, isn't that crazy, Kamui, that Kishimoto had been planning that forever?
This comment didn't age well.
Especially in the animes where Kishimoto was planning it. Of all places. Making him wholeheartedly...
Like, if anything, it would have been Kodachi, but this is confirmed Ikimoto's plot point. So no. I'm curious what scenes he's referring to, though.
Well, he continues by saying, making him wholeheartedly pursue the path of the Shadow Hokage. As much as I loved watching Naruto overcome so much in order to get as strong as he became, this is not his story anymore. What we're seeing with Himawari is actually the true result of Naruto's hard work, how he paved the path for the next generation.
No, this has no. In fact, Kurama's explanation indicates that it has absolutely nothing to do with Naruto.
Yeah, I know. Like, I understand if he wants to say that Naruto, his hard work gave the next generation the chance to exist in the first place for events such as this to even be able to happen.
Naruto's work got him and Hinata in the bed together. Yeah, that's wonderful writing. Wonderful theme, huh?
Not what I was saying at all.
That's not what
this comment's like Naruto, because of his hard work, Himawari has the 9 tails, which is not true. So
Yeah,
Naruto,
because
so he can just,
Naruto could have not befriended Kurama, seemingly. All he needed to do was marry Hinata, and this was gonna happen.
now, okay, this actually is interesting. I somewhat slightly understand this point to a degree that I might agree a little bit. So Naruto made sure that the next person to inherit Kurama wouldn't have to deal with the trauma of living with the Nine Tails' hatred and would be able to access the power much more easily. The second part I disagree with, but the first part I do low-key agree with. He didn't have to know it was going to be Himawari or that it was going to have to be someone, but the fact that he did do that allowed that to happen.
Yeah, I agree. And the second one, the tricky part is, according to Kurama, it's all up to Himawari. He has no control.
Because of the
So
affinity, not
I don't know
because
if it
it's up to
matters.
Naruto, dude.
Yeah, so
As for Himawari being strong
I
enough
don't
to fight
like.
with Jura, we have to remember that. Oh my god, Kamui, is this the person that wrote the one thing? He says, he says, we have to remember that Damon looked at Hima with excitement. You know our favorite character, Damon? He's Damon.
Don't tell me he's gonna bring a being or breaking news.
Stating that she should have been able to evade his strike with ease. It just doesn't make sense for Damon, of all characters, to make a statement like that, just to have Hima fighting on the level of Jigen or Code. Damon would not be excited to fight Code or Jigen. That's funny considering he was excited to fight Code, just not because he was strong, just because he wanted to. So it must have something to do
Well,
with. Well, it wasn't to fight Code. He was just excited, I guess, for like Ada wanted him to. It's not even an
to be
excitement
able to
thing.
fight.
Yeah, it was just
I
a
mean,
fun thing.
here's what I'll say though. Whereas yes, I agree to what he's saying. The problem is the Nine Tails specifically being that thing seems ludicrous if it's not Baryon mode related. Now it might be, given that Volume 3 is releasing Baryon mode information, and it looks like Baryon mode and all that jazz. So I will not be surprised if that's a revelation. But so far, the way it's been described is just the Nine Tails, nothing more. Jorah's not saying, "Oh, your power is beyond that of the Nine Tails. How strange." No, he's just like, "Wow, your power is like that of a Biju." He's not implying it's beyond Biju. He's implying it's only Biju level. And the Nine Tails should not be as strong as Jorah or Damon. Like, that doesn't make any sense. So it's still gonna be weird. Like, the dialogue is weird, even with that hypothetical Baryon mode revelation, which I'm still gonna hope is the case because it just at least makes more sense. But the dialogue would still be weird regardless. I'm still gonna make fun of it.
Yeah, and you can say whatever about what Damon said. I think the point of that scene isn't that Hima just didn't use her full power. I think it's just more low key that like she just couldn't access it at all at the moment because Damon's like, oh, you should have been able to just block it. Oh, I guess I was wrong, and you couldn't do it after all. And so Hima just doesn't have the power, at least at that point in time.
At least she couldn't access.
Yeah,
I think it might dormant within her fine, but she couldn't just use it.
yeah.
Which
So
actually is a great segue to my most recent Boruto topic.
sure.
So why exactly was Kurama hiding all this time?
I
What
feel
was
like
he
we've talked
hiding
about this a
from?
bajillion times. When they first did, I thought he was hiding from Jura, but it seems like he's been there for years. But maybe not since he's a baby.
Yeah, so it's like,
It takes thousands of years.
well, if he was hiding, like, what was Juro could sense him anyway? It just seems like it seems more like he was hiding and Juro's the one who found him out versus hiding from Juro specifically. And it's not like he would have known who Juro was before. Like, why was he hiding?
Yeah, I
Like, why
mean,
didn't he, even if he wants to be somewhat, why doesn't he introduce himself to Himawari and say, "Hey, keep this a secret"? Like,
maybe Himawari being so unsure of herself, which is so disgusting to Kurama. He just couldn't bear talking to her. based on how indecisive.
What do you
she's
mean?
been.
Because back then she was sure of herself, though. He only talked to her when she wasn't sure of herself.
Yeah, but that's only when they had no choice, because Jura was even less sure than she was. And just like the Madara Naruto situation in the war arc, Naruto is just the lesser of the two evils.
I don't know, but anyway.
Like, Himawari, you sure are indecisive, but that guy over there, he's even more indecisive than you are. I couldn't even stand going with him.
But Himawari, it seems like you don't know what's going on, but that guy, that Hidari guy, has even less of a clue about everything. He's like, Himawari, I thought you were too stupid to talk to, but that Hidari guy really changed my opinion.
Oh my god. Okay. Let's do at least one more first comment, since this one's a shorter one. Okay, so I liked this. So on the poll, if Sarada beats Hidari, how will she? And so Toby Smith comments, so this is quoting Sarada, Hidari, you and I are not so different. Thoughts?
Yeah. I remember that one.
That would be a Naruto thing to do.
Well, that didn't happen yet.
Not
But
yet.
In time.
Yeah, ironically, this would low-key go hard with Hidari's identity question. Like,
it would.
Not exactly this, but you get the idea. Like, I know who I am.
Imagine if Hidari asks Sarada, who are you? And she's like, someone who's not so different from you, Papa. That would have been a good answer.
No,
really
even better yet.
Break Hidari's world.
Even better yet, Sarada should just high-key confuse him. Like, Hidari's like, who are you? And Sarada just, I'm you. I am you.
She pulls the Mahito, I am you.
Better yet, I'm you, and I know who I am. So then Hidari can't go after his identity. It's a paradox. Hidari has to know who he is.
That would have been a good mind game. What if that was how they had to defeat Hidari? They had to just like confuse him so much he blew up.
I forget the Uzuhigo, just blow him up through confusion.
At least it would be funny.
Okay. Let's go to Boruto topics. I was looking at some of these earlier just to see how many we have, and there were so many I didn't even bother counting. It was just that many. So.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. And again, most of these are from like 2 days after, like the day or two after reading the chapter. And so most of these thoughts are either irrelevant by now, or we've talked about them, or they're a little bit shallow in comparison. Well, that's usually when I have all of my thoughts about the chapter, and then I just stop since I already have way too many. So, let's see what I had to say about a month ago. 3 weeks earlier, but yeah. So, okay, this one's an interesting one. I'm glad we get to start with this.
I wonder if Code actually knows about 10 directions as a Shinjutsu, like in concept, or if he has never heard of it.
Do you think Code was told the name of claw marks, or did he just make that up himself, coincidentally? Or is it like a subconscious thing, like the Mangekyo, where you just know the name of the ability?
That's a tricky one, because everyone in Kara just knows the name, so that either means Code just came up with the name and then everyone just went with it, or that just was the name and like Amato or Ishiki told him. Because the thing is, Momoshiki never, I mean, granted, you can just call this just like plot convenience. Momoshiki wasn't surprised to see this is just another thing. Why wasn't Momoshiki like, wait, why does Code have this Shinjutsu? Where is this coming from? Like, bro, is just like, did not think about it whatsoever. But even before, but anyway, Momoshiki wasn't like, those aren't claw marks, those are actually blank. He just went, he didn't care. Didn't say anything about it. So I don't know. It might just be kind of like the Mangekyo, where Obito and Kakashi just both chose the name Kamui by chance.
I don't think it's by chance. I think it's a subconscious thing. But do you?
I don't know. No, I feel like they're just naming the abilities. I don't think like Itachi knew the name was Amaterasu. I think he just chose Amaterasu. Like, he just thought it was a cool name. I don't know.
No, bro. There's no chance they just both randomly came up with the same name. It's a random name. It's not like it's an already existing name in Naruto.
What are you talking about? The Conway or claw marks?
The Kamui. See, claw marks is understandable because it looks like claw marks. Kamui isn't a thing.
Yeah,
that
I was gonna say
exists.
that when I
Not a word.
I mean, but like we know, there's a precedent that they just come up with the names of jutsu.
A
so...
precedent? What's a precedent, Kamui?
Precedent.
A president?
I did not say that. I said precedent.
Okay. Keep going.
Properly. But anyway, I don't know. People just this. I mean, in the universe, that doesn't make sense. It's never described. It's just you subconsciously knowing the name of the ability. It's just you're just calling it something. For example, Sasuke just calls it flame control because he's controlling the flame. It's not that deep.
He already knows the name flame control.
And now, some things like Susanoo, I can imagine, are like just documented, well known. They've talked about, so people just know it's called. Like Itachi probably just heard from Madara. It's called the Susanoo. But for all we know, Madara invented the name Susanoo in the first place, and then tells Obito. Then Obito tells Itachi. Then Itachi tells Sasuke, and then Sasuke tells everyone else. You know, so I mean, we don't know.
Nah, bro, I don't think that's the case. I don't think this is like Attack on Titan to where they're just coincidentally coming up with the same names. And the real reason is just because it's the same author.
I'm telling you,
nah, I don't think that's.
It's not described in series. It's just like because that doesn't like fundamentally that doesn't make any sense. Like just instinctually know the name of it. The name of the ability is made up. Like
No, because it's a dojutsu. It's different from Minato making up the Rasengan name because it's a random ninjutsu.
no,
this is like an inherited bloodline.
That doesn't matter. Like because the fact that it has a name is just a human construct, or in a Suzuki Origins, or it's Suzuki construct. They just came up with the name. It doesn't just by default have a name before Shibai came up with the name.
Oh yeah, did they write the data books too? Oh wow, I guess they didn't. No, it's that interesting, Kamui. So I guess it's more than just a name. Oh, you're floored there, aren't you, Kamui?
That's an out of series thing, like out of story thing that Kishimoto wrote. Yeah, it is. Kishimoto came up with cool names, and when he decided on Kamui, and then he decided that Obito has the same ability, of course he just kept the same name.
Where are the data books even physically published? Are they in the Naruto volumes, or are they some other book? Or some other like comic. What is
They're an other book. Like you can just buy the book separate from the volumes.
But like, what is the book? Is it just a data book volume?
It's just the data book.
Yeah, and there's like 4 of them, but like, so what is it like? What? I don't know.
You have to buy all 4 separately. I'm pretty sure.
Whatever. All I know is that I'm red. That was only the first part of this first thing. So I'm just going to continue the next parts here. So...
Can you share your screen, by the way, so I can see your podcast topic?
I could have sworn there was more there before I deleted it. Let me go just double check. Okay. Where did it go? Oh, never mind. Okay, never mind. I'm so dumb. It was below this. Why do we not start with this? Whatever. I missed this. We'll come back to this, I guess. Okay, so continuing with the code thing, why would Code die? I think we just found it through Hidari's slash. But I always thought it was weird because, again, like with my interpretation, it doesn't make sense for the Shinju to care to kill Code. Otherwise, I mean, they already would have if they did, or just anything like that. Yeah. That's what I was really meaning by that. But yeah. So also, doesn't he eat the chakra fruit or hide in a different dimension? Like, why wouldn't he do that or be able to do that? Like, why would someone stop him? It doesn't make sense to me. So yeah, the Shinju could kill him at any time, but haven't, knowing his goal. Code is on the Shinju side. What happens if the Shinju win? Why isn't Code just right?
Well, we don't know for sure what will happen because hypothetically, if winning means they turn into a normal divine tree, then Code just gets the fruit willy-nilly. And that's fine. But if anything different happens, like if the tree's alive and it can kill Code, then maybe he doesn't get to win in that case. I'm not sure. It kind of depends. But it's implied that they're just going to become normal divine trees in the end anyway.
I mean, I'm going to be honest, bro. The Shinju were just straight up retcon. Like, you agree with me? The fact that Mamushi is trying to devour him, and the fact that Hidari's trying to kill him in this chapter, so they don't need Boruto alive. They were trying to eat them themselves rather than feed Boruto or Kawaki to the Tin Tails, a separate entity.
Seemingly.
That just doesn't make sense, bro. It had to be retcon, like, so close apart, too.
I mean, you could argue that they're just trying to capture him, I guess.
Nah, bro. He was going for the bisection there, Hidari was.
No, Hidari was going to chop him in half for some reason. Regardless of that, like, bro, what if that killed Boruto? What are you going to do then?
Exactly, yeah, literally. I guess you just aren't fitting him to the divine.
I guess you can always make the argument Hidari's just stupid.
And this shouldn't be a retcon, because it's not like this is a small thing. Once again, like I brought this up last podcast, so this is just like a pivotal hinging plot point of the Code arc. Oh, Code, Boruto's dead. You better not be thinking about using Kawaki. Okay, so we know that is like a thing now. Like, that's just established. Like, that's a big plot point. Like, if anything, that's like the reason that Code and Ada split up anyways.
It's also reminded back in chapter 12 or chapter 13 that because Jura's like, Kawaki alone will be enough.
Yeah.
I've decided to kill you. And again, implying that to defeat Boruto, the 10 Tails, it needs to be alive.
What were they doing, bro? Like, I don't understand it. Whatever.
The Shinju were just going at it. I don't know.
So,
well, also, what's also weird. Now, of course, Jura could just be lumping the others with himself, but he says that curiosity and thirst for knowledge are surpassing our instinctual drive to devour you, and that's why Boruto was lucky enough to escape. But the only one that makes sense for it is Jura, because he's the only one who was standing there observing and being curious, while the others were straight up trying to devour him.
Yeah, like, how many times
like, what do you mean our? My, sure, but our, no.
How many times is Jura gonna say Boruto's lucky? Like, bro must have like a 6 out of 5 luck in the data book or something. It's ridiculous. From Jura's perspective, anyways. Just 100% consistently lucky whenever he faces against Boruto.
I mean, honestly, when you think about it, Boruto is lucky in a lot of situations. He was lucky versus Boro that Momoshiki just came in and saved his ass. He was lucky in the Code arc that Momoshiki saved his ass. He was lucky in the Prophecy arc that Sasuke saved his ass. He was lucky in this arc because I guess Curiosity saved his ass. And he was lucky in chapter 13 because Mamushi saved his ass.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. Chapter 13, Jura's reason for leaving, which is so bad, they could have just repeated what Jura said here, word for word, and it would have not only been way better, but just straight up arguably good for like the beginning and end of the arc.
I mean, yeah, because and like I said, if you're appealing to Jura's curiosity with either Matsuri's research and or the new Shinju, that's fine. It's consistent with his character. And so I would probably like a slight tweak just to indicate that's what he's curious about. But once you've done that, yeah, you can just say, you were lucky, Atsuki Boruto. Once again, overflowing curiosity and thirst for knowledge is surpassing my instinctual drive to devour you. You know, like whatever. And that would have been fine.
I was gonna say just rewrite it to where you just don't have him want to kill him. Even then, you can have him still want to kill him, but he can be like, oh, because of my curiosity, I'm just gonna wait to kill you. I'm just not gonna kill you immediately. Again, would have been a perfect reason to leave, especially for Jura's character. Because the whole point, either way, they're all gonna die anyways. This just continues what they were already doing.
Yeah.
Leaving them alive so they can find their identity. Yeah. There you go.
And like I said, like all you have to they had the perfect setup with Mamoshi's new intel, just directly appeal to it this time instead of appealing to Jura and then having Jura use a different reason that makes no sense.
Because honestly, it's almost just better to straight up swap the reasons they use, considering this reason doesn't even necessarily make sense in this case. Boruto flying Raijin away, he's not lucky. It's not because their curiosity is overriding it. He teleported away. What do you mean your curiosity is surpassing your instinct?
I agree, but I'll give it slack because Jura never tried to attack Boruto there when he could have.
But still.
So
it doesn't.
I'm okay with it.
It doesn't ruin the scene. It only arguably retroactively ruins the scene with Chapter 13 context with this in mind.
It's more just that Chapter 13's bad.
Yeah, Chapter 13 was so bad. It's branching out to other chapters.
Yeah. It's infecting like a virus.
Oh my god, Chapter 13 is an infection to the Boruto series. That's a clip right there.
Yeah, it's an infection. It's so is Chapter 10, Chapter 9. They had a lot of other chapters.
I just throw them all in there. Just Two Blue Vortex as a whole.
Yeah, Two Blue Vortex is infecting the Naruto franchise. Ikimoto is infecting it.
Oh my god. Okay. Bro, we're never getting Ikimoto on the podcast if he watches a single podcast clip from us.
I mean, he watched that one podcast when he changed Kawaki's foot, so he might be a fan.
What if he just agrees with us? He's like, oh yeah, these guys are right.
He's like, oh man, like I want them on my editorial team.
Oh my god.
Like, man, I wish I had editors like these guys.
Well, Kamui, if you
awesome.
ever
I would love to be an editor for the Boruto manga.
If you ever get a phone call and they're like, Moshi Moshi, Kamui-san desu ka? Then you know what to do. You know what they're saying.
Yeah, I'll respond in English.
Be like, Naruto,
maybe you can just train me on some
Dr.
Japanese before the phone call.
Yeah. The only word, ironically, the only word you'd have to say is the English word you'd probably want to say anyways, which would be hi.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I can say hi for yes.
Yeah. Which ironically works as hi for hello as well. It's the only word you gotta use.
Hi, Ikimoto.
Oh my god. Okay. Moving on. So, the next topic. So, do you agree with this? This Boruto is the strongest above all other possible timeline Borutos. The others may not have had Uzuhiko, for example.
Yes, for the most part. However, I would say he's probably the strongest, the earliest to specify, or tied the strongest, because there's no indication that Boruto in at least one of the timelines, couldn't have learned all the abilities at a later date. We don't know whether he did or not. There's nothing to say that it was impossible. No timeline does he learn all the abilities when he's 40. That is easily possible.
Yeah, I mean,
but
at the
this is probably
present
the
moment.
timeline where he learns them all at age 15.
Yeah, I mean at the present moment in time.
Yeah, like so he's. I mean, granted, no. I mean, I guess. Well, even that's not necessarily true because there's probably more than one branching timeline of which Koji teaches Boruto the abilities, but then there's other things that can happen because, for example, Koji says, it's unlikely, but maybe we can beat the Shinju before the Ten Tails evolves in the first place. That already applies 2 timelines, one where they succeed, one where they don't. In both cases, Boruto is the same strength he already is right now with Uzuhiko and all this shit. So that's still 2 timelines with Boruto being equally as strong. So there's still more than one, but she's tied the strongest.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I thought you were going to say that because other timelines exist where Boruto succeeds, he has to be stronger in those ones. I was going to debunk that by saying pretty much exactly what you were saying, that I don't think Boruto made a different choice or wrong choice anywhere, and I think it's other people making choices that led to the current timeline. I think Boruto would make the choice
I'm saying
to
is
be
that
on the
there's other
timeline.
timelines with the same Boruto in it.
Yeah.
But that just means tied the strongest.
Okay, fair enough. Interesting. Okay. Is there anything else I can add to
But
this?
the rest is true. Like, other timelines might not have had Uzuhiko, or they might not have had Flying Raijin or whatever.
Yeah, like, going with, like, the multiverse idea from Mello's perspective, like, this Boruto would come out on top. Or at least tied.
Yeah.
Okay. So, wouldn't Boruto have known that telling Code he was gonna not die work? He knows all possible futures. He should know if there isn't one where Code helps him. And that's basically what we were just saying earlier, ironically enough. Considering the shocked face.
Yeah, like, it's like, that's where I remember I made the joke that, because, like, I imagine the fact that Boruto's doing this implies that, well, no, there is a future where Code just does listen to Boruto.
Yeah.
But he should know how to get to that future. And so if Boruto just has to say specific words a certain way and it works, well, he should know how to do that.
But
so
also,
the 2 options is the goofy one is Boruto's just winging it and he's not practicing, and that's his flaw here because he's lazy, he likes shortcuts. Or option 2, it's not on Boruto for this one. Boruto does what he needs to do. The rest is dependent on Code and whatever Code wants to do, and there's nothing Boruto can do about that. That's the other option, which makes a little bit more sense.
Something extra interesting here. Boruto asking this means he knows that, assuming this is the timeline where Code accepts, accepting would actually be meaningful. AKA, Boruto and Code would just 2v4 and win against the 4 Shinju. Or at least there's a chance.
It's possible there's a chance with this one, but Koji seems to make it seem like that wasn't an option at the time. So I'm not, I mean, it might have had a timeline, but it could have just been very unlikely.
I mean, very unlikely, I suppose, but, like, the fact that it exists at all is kind of crazy. Like, say whatever you want about Boruto's strength. Code? That shows he's relevant to the Shinju.
I mean, I don't see why. No, I don't see why it's that. I mean, the problem is Jura, because ignoring Jura for a minute, let's just say Jura in all timelines just doesn't do anything. Well, I mean, considering how Sarada did with Hidari, I'm pretty confident that Code will do a lot better.
Yeah, like,
so I can definitely see them handling. I really could just see them taking out the other 3 Shinju 2v3. The problem's Jura, so I feel like this just relies on Jura not doing anything, because Jura could easily just snipe him in the middle of the fight at any time.
Yeah.
So it's reliant on him just not helping.
But then what? Like, would Boruto and Code just
I guess Jura
Jura and win?
I don't think Jura should be able to get 2v1 by Boruto and Code. That feels very lackluster. So I'm thinking Jura just in all those timelines that he just leaves. He doesn't do anything.
Bro, not gonna lie though, I kind of want to see like that animated by Studio Mappa or something. Boruto and Codes team up together. That'd be freaking cool. They do it like an anime shonen protagonist thing with the inspirational freaking throw in My Hero Academia music just to make space happy. Like I can imagine something freaking awesome like that. They get the Dragon Ball scream. It's the music crescendos. I need that like brotherly bond between Boruto and Code in this team up. I don't care how unrealistic it is. Freaking would be awesome.
It depends on whether they're gonna have Code break from his inescapable fate to be used by other people, or if he'll die tragically, never like realizing his flaw and succumbing to that fate. It depends on what they want to do with him. Because if he succumbs to it, I don't see them teaming up. But
Kamui.
If he breaks free, then I can see it.
Kamui. Need you forget? Where is it? Need you forget? He already escaped his inescapable fate.
No, he didn't.
You're gonna be killed too. All I gotta say.
That wasn't the inescapable fate in question.
So here's a 10 Directions limitation. I don't remember if this is a rewrite or actually there or not, but let's find out together. You can't see any effect the ability itself could make. For example, Koji can't see Code's fate because Boruto told him about it. Okay, so it is a rewrite.
Okay, real quick. It's definitely a rewrite, but because I'll start with that.
Yeah.
Well, Koji straight up said in chapter 13 exactly how that's not true, because he's like, yeah, the fact that I'm telling you this now, it changes the future, and I can see how it affects it.
Well, no, because he says it changes
the last
it
part, I'm confused.
in real time. Like, in this moment, even now, the future's changing. So it can work.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting.
Yeah, but he can see the results still.
In real time, seemingly. At the very least. Do you know where it would be?
Yeah, but
exactly.
In worst case scenario, he just has to activate it again. Doesn't seem to be a problem for Koji here. So whether he saw it all at once the first time or has to do it again, he can still see the effect. So it is a rewrite. But then, I mean, well, I like the idea. It would mean he's not seeing all possible futures, because the future of him giving the information wouldn't be something he sees, so it's not all possible futures in that case. But it would still be a cool ability, regardless.
So you're just not going to tell me where it is?
Oh, what are you looking for?
Oh my god. Where he says, even now, the future's changing, as he's telling him this.
Towards the end.
It's right here.
No,
I think it's right here.
Panel.
Never mind,
it's
not
a
here.
rectangular, sideways rectangle panel.
Not helpful.
Keep going. There. Ah!
Yes. First, I need you to understand the very
one.
worst future. Okay, that's not it.
Keep going. It was a similar panel, but keep going. There we go. No, never mind. Keep going. I know the panel. Okay. Okay. Wait. Scroll up. Okay. Scroll up. Scroll up. No, scroll up. There you go. Top left.
And
top left.
through you learning about this now, our future has already started to change one tick at a time. So do you think Koji has seen him seeing this and the results of this change already? Or is it as it's changing now, he's now using the ability to see the updated future?
As my answer has been with a lot of these questions, it depends on how the ability actually works. If he sees all possible futures, I feel like from the onset he should have just seen it. You just have all the futures. But if it's not that literal, then he would have to do it again.
Yeah. They say infinite.
I mean, it's very weird for him. I will admit, I prefer a more active approach to this ability. Just feels more fun, because if he just sees everything all at once the first time and that's just it, it's just kind of like, okay, the end to the ability. it feels more fun if he has to actively do stuff.
Yeah. I think in Viz, it doesn't use the word infinite, it uses the word countless. Let's see.
No, I think it was the other way around.
Okay, then it's the other way around.
Yeah, infinite.
Yeah. In that case, I'm going to say countless is more correct. Since I don't trust the official.
I mean, they've lost our trust for good reason.
Yeah. Okay. Dad, how you doing tonight? What's up, Ash and Martin and Space and Idris and Sid 2 Cam 1 2 3? Hey, Kamui, where's the spoiler? And when do the spoilers drop?
It's coming. It's incoming specifically.
Oh, spoiler alert. So chapter 14 cover's been leaked. I'm going to take this and I'm going to pin this and I'm going to use this as justification for using this title like a week earlier than I realistically should.
Let me look for this. Let me see what it's about. Boruto 2 Blue Vortex Chapter 14 cover.
Even if it doesn't exist, I'm glad that Martin has got our back. We're covered for the stream now. They cannot blame us. How are y'all? We're pretty good. Thanks, Ash. I'm speaking for Kamui when I say that. Great hook. Thanks, Gale. They use wood cell to eat. Small attack isn't how they eat. Now, it could be. How you stronger than Jigen getting gagged by a Moegi clone? It was a Jonin 4 hours ago. Ash, I don't know if you saw, I think it was Invincible. Oh no, this one. Wait, Ash, is this you? Because I know they're new. Come show me CC. Is this you? Because I know you were making this. Someone was making this. Thought this was pretty funny. A few hours at most. She just cliffs the whole universe. It was only made in 3 minutes. Also in chapter 12, Konohamaru saved him from Hidari. Yeah, Konohamaru's OP though. Does Ikamoto speak English? I don't care. I speak Japanese, that's all we need. What's good, Invincible?
Yeah.
Invincible, do you know what the pinned message is about? Now Matsuri gonna use Earth-style gravel, Otsuki tier version, and then stick wood in his brain. Bro, we need like a lobotomy scene, just like in Hunter x Hunter with Matsuri. We freaking know. Not Matsuri being directly behind Jura in Koji's vision. Wait, what are you talking about? Oh, okay. I got you. Ada and Sarada don't make that face. Konohamaru make that face. Crazy. These translators can't even spell Ino and Ada right. Kamui, where did you put the Ada thing? Did we already cover that? Did we delete that? We probably put that in the messages.
I don't know if we deleted it or not, but
hopefully we put that in
the Aida thing was in there somewhere.
At this point,
oh, here it is.
Aida, yeah. At this point, we need another chat just for chapter translations or something.
Biz mistakes.
Yeah, might as well.
I'm not seeing anything about this chapter cover. Who posted it again?
Martin Silva.
Martin, if you're still listening, can you direct us, like post a link to the chapter cover so that we can see it?
They're still in chat at the very least. I think they're still watching. They should be listening. Hey Martin, can you join the Discord? Link in the description below.
Yeah, I love this. Did you already look at this? Come show me CC, the Inu Shikacho children, because I remember that too.
Where did they post that?
Chat.
Oh, cool. Who TF is Inu? The Inu Shikacho children.
You know, Inu.
Perfect. I'm glad that we got Come See Me CC in here. We can post no shade. Okay. Yeah, it was probably a lie, but even if they're lying, I'm glad that they made it up so that when people come in here, based solely around the title, they're going to see that pinned message and they're not going to think we're lying because someone else is saying it, and so even if we are, they could just blame Martin. So thank you, Martin.
Well, we're not even lying. It's just we were misled.
You're our scapegoat.
Although that being said, I hope yes, Face, how can official translations make mistakes like this? Oh, actually, hold on. Let's get the infamous. I don't know why I love Kawaki one in there. I mean, the non-officials used to one is the really goofy stuff, but the official we make fun of for like the strange, just blatant errors.
I mean, hey, at least give him this. He doesn't know why.
I don't know why he would love Kawaki.
Well, it's better than nothing. At least you two agree.
Are there any other things you can think of?
I can
weird
think of,
errors?
I'm sure there is more. Probably some Eno nonsense with her like mind transmission. Isn't that like not the thing it was? She was using mind transfer with Shikamaru or whatever. They called it that or whatever. I don't know if that's necessarily a typo. It might just straight up be an error in the official, like the raw. But I'm not sure.
I don't care. It's going to mistakes. It's still a mistake.
I mean, hey, if anything, they could have fixed it. So. There you go. You might as well look for the shadow strangle being the shadow possession, or whatever it was. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, shoot. When was that? Was that in Boruto or Naruto?
I have no idea. Well, it's definitely in Boruto.
Shadow possession and shadow paralysis.
Paralysis. I
know those are...
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Okay, so Bug, at least in the official, seems to clarify that he didn't go. Matsuri's back based on her investigation, not our.
Yeah.
But her, yeah. Or not even just straight up her.
So
I like how they're not even sure. It's just that it seems like Boruto has an accomplice. He might.
I don't even know where he got that information from. Like to think it seems that way.
Yeah. Expanded beyond typos at this point.
Like, that's what Momoshiki dishes out. Okay, this is Shikamaru's shadow possession or shadow paralysis. That makes sense, right? Now look at what Shikamaru used. Clearly, this shadow strangle.
Wait. What does Shikadai call this when he uses against Boruto? Go look for that. I'm really curious what he says.
Oh, Shikadai onto Boruto?
Yeah, in the tuning exams.
Or did you say Shikadeer?
I said Shikadai. In the tuning exams.
Sorry. Because at first I thought you said Shikadai, but I thought you said Shikadeer the first time I heard it, and that threw me for a loop.
I mean, maybe I did. I
like,
just don't. Maybe I just subconsciously did. I don't think I did though, but maybe I did. I'll trust you on it. Oh my god, it's even worse than the freaking manga, bro. Momoshiki says, quote unquote, "I can see your fate quite clearly." He says quite twice. Your is bolded.
Oh, really?
What is this chapter title? What Dad would do.
What Dad would do? Let me see this again. Okay, this is definitely not Viz translation. Hold, scroll down. Sarda just said something hilarious. Okay, where is it? What you mean? Oh no, wait. It said what you mean somewhere. Oh yeah, scroll up.
What you mean?
Full possession of my mental faculties. I remember this. I don't know what you mean. What you mean?
You should be fine.
Somebody, I don't know what you mean. What you mean?
I mean, hey, I'm gonna give them props for some organic dialogue right there. I feel like that's something we would say.
That's funny though. I love it. Do you know what's going on, President?
President. Oh my god. I just kind of low-key want to just read this chapter again now.
Yeah, dude. I know. I love this translations already.
Okay, we cannot.
I haven't. No. Oh my god, this is even worse. Momoshiki, I haven't lost a. It's not. I haven't lost everything. It's I haven't lost a single thing. I'm
Bro,
gonna
I
make you
told
translate
you.
this panel. Okay.
It's like the Eren Yeager comparison, dude. It's like he died wanting to fight every Titan, and he died before killing a single one of them. Boruto, the boy who's destined to lose everything, and he didn't lose a single thing.
I'm gonna have you look at the raws on this. I want to see how they phrased it because that's one is bad, one is way worse.
What does he say in the other one?
Just so you know, I never once considered this as me losing everything.
Okay.
Something close to that. Because
My
just so you
God.
know, I haven't lost a single thing.
Ugh.
Is just so like what to this prophecy? It's like so you're telling so the prophecy is nothing happened.
I forgot how bad this was. Not I forgot, but like just reading this again. The truth is, I'm the one who drove Kawaki to the brink. It was all my fault.
It's like no, it wasn't. It could have been if you rewrite the chapter as
Could have been if
we
it was
intend to
good.
do. But in this, at least, he says it wasn't supposed to go like this.
Okay. Oh boy, Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, and
But that you already have it. That's the mistake.
Okay.
I'm gonna delete the second one just to make it more ridiculous.
That's ridiculous, yeah. That is a mistake. That's funny. It's a final mistake. I like it. Okay. So back to actual
Go
topics
make some
now.
pasta. Yeah.
Okay. So we actually didn't finish.
That was
our...
a fun little side tangent.
Yes. We didn't finish our previous topic, so like I was saying, this was like my quote-unquote rewrite for the 10 directions limitations. I think even now it could be implemented. It's not technically too late. It'd just be a little bit weird, but it's fine. I don't think it directly like contradicts anything so far. But like if I had to put a limitation, I think I would like that as a limitation. But of all the limitations, assuming you were the writer, what limitation would you put, or would you put a limitation on this ability at all?
I would. I'm a huge fan. I mean, you already know this by now. I am a huge fan of the every jutsu has a weakness
I know.
plot point. I just think it's cool. It's cool to see the weaknesses of the jutsu get dismantled, and it just puts more fun into the story when you have to work around limitations. So I'd be fine if there was a limitation, but a clever way to work around it, or at least mostly work around it. That maybe it's inconvenient, but now as far as what that limitation would be, I haven't really thought about it. So
We've talked a little
I don't
bit
like it's
about
just
different
chakra draining.
variations.
I mean, you because that's just kind of like, okay, just don't use it in battle. So
I
I
mean,
want something else.
what
Something that
about-
makes it inherently risky or puts them at potential risk, or there's a loophole in what it can't see.
yeah, do you like...
Something of among those.
I mean, this is what I came up with, but like we've talked about a couple other potential limitations, such as the fact that maybe Koji doesn't see every possible future, he just thinks he does. And so he can see
yeah, but
countless,
I'm
he doesn't
hard
see all
pressed to
of them.
say whether that's necessarily a limitation. I guess it is a limitation. Okay, that's a limitation, not a weakness, I guess is the difference. Yours is a weakness, I would
Okay.
say, because it's saying if you tell Code about his future, then you can no longer, then you can't see the effect of what you've done, kind of thing.
Yeah,
That's almost
mine-
like a weakness.
Mine, I think,
versus,
works if there is
which is fine.
one like direction that the future is supposed to go, which is like similar to when Sasuke and Boruto teleport back to the past, time travel or whatever, in the time slip arc, and like Sasuke doesn't want to change the future, doesn't want to make slight changes that could alter the future history. And so I feel like that's important for this in a way.
Yeah. So that's definitely one option. What were some of the other ones we said? Oh yeah, just not being able to see all futures. That one's both really good yet really goofy at the same time because mechanically, okay, why can't he? I guess you could say, well, I guess you can say this is one of the futures you can't see. What happens when you tell someone about it? I mean, that could just add some mystery to where technically things could go just all over the place and you wouldn't be able to predict how things happen. So you lose predictability. So that definitely works as the only thing though is the way Koji's ability works as it is, it's not like Momoshiki where you're seeing Boruto's fate. Koji is just seeing the future and he can just kind of go around and see what happens to each person willy-nilly, but it's not that he's seeing Code's future, he's seeing the future, which includes Code, unless he dies.
Yeah, well, that's another limitation, is what if he could only see his own future as opposed to the future or anyone else?
Well, okay, that's definitely a rewrite, obviously, because
yeah, I know. That, at this point, I'm just presenting
but,
what you think would be a good limitation on the ability itself, regardless of the story.
Yeah, I mean, I like that idea. Like, it's almost like the invert. No, honestly, that's a cool one to compare and contrast with Momoshiki's, because Momoshiki can't see his own future, but he can see other people's futures, at least allegedly. Whereas Koji's could be to see his own future, but not others, unless it's seeing their future through his future. I actually like that idea because then he could, because the whole point in this is seeing the worst possible future. And this way, it doesn't necessarily give him all the answers. It's more just he knows what's coming. And obviously, you have to range with the Shinjutsu to where, I mean, I guess you could do a thing to where Koji can see at the current moment if there's no, this is going to be hard to describe, but hopefully you get the idea. So let's say he first awakens in Shinjutsu. Future is going to be how it's going to be without knowing the future. But then he tells Boruto about it. He activates it again. The future is going to be a certain way. And then every time he uses future knowledge, that would change things, so he has to activate it again and again. I guess you could do it in that manner. Granted, in that case, of course, that's not working as well in terms of the whole you get to decide your destiny thing, because it's like you can only do this with the power of the Shinjutsu, otherwise you would just be stuck with destiny. So I like the whole multiple branching choices. I don't know how it would change his ability, man. Like, maybe I think Koji should either be able to see the possibilities but not how to get there, or he could pick out the important moments. Like, he would see the crossroads but not what comes after it, and he himself would have to figure out what's probably going to come as a result of that crossroad, or he sees what's going to happen and he himself has to figure out what the crossroad is. And in that case, you would probably need to make it so that it's like the jutsu allows you to see. You can't like see like from now to 10 years continuously. It has to be like the Senrigan, to where you can see a certain point in time, but that's you, and you can't just keep. I don't know how to describe like how we should make this work, because Ada can just go in the past and see seemingly as much as she wants. She just has to spend the time doing it. So maybe it can be like the Senrigan, to where when Koji does this, he can't see, and make it unlike Ada's Senrigan. You know how she can use one eye to do it while also paying attention in real time, seemingly seeing in real time. Maybe Koji, when he looks in the future, he can't see in the present. So obviously he's living in the present. Maybe he can even hear in the present. I'll give him that. But he can't see. Preferably it's like he just goes to sleep in the present while he uses the ability. And while he uses the ability, it works in real time like Ada Senrigan. I know I've been rambling for a minute. I'm just trying to think of ideas. So you could do it. He uses the ability. He gets shut down, basically. And while he's looking in the future, it's 1-to-1 real time to future time. So that way, if Koji wants to spend 10 years in the future observing events over time, he's going to be deactivated for 10 years in the present, which obviously is not smart. You see what I'm saying? That could be like a good way to really limit the potential power this ability could hold. Because as it is, it seems like he sees every single possible thing in the world in one instant.
Yeah.
Do you like any of those ideas?
Well, I'll just add on to them. And so we've already mentioned this, but the fact that he sees all possible futures, again, just limit the amount of futures he can see, or maybe limit the amount of times he can use this ability in the first place. Maybe he only has like 5 activations total, for instance. Again, and like
or
you were
this is
saying,
the long cooldown. I was debating on the long
Yeah.
cooldown
that can work as well.
idea as well. Like
I don't think that's
Orochimaru's
really a
immortality
weakness,
once
but
every
like
3
you're saying, a
years.
limitation. Yeah, exactly. Another one would be, like you're saying, similar to the Senrigan, how it can only see certain moments of time. If he can, instead of like he can constantly see 3 years in the future, no matter where he is in the present moment, if instead he could only see up to major events, such as like the Baryon mode fight, where there's multiple branching lines, multiple possibilities or routes it can go, the choices it can make. In terms of like big choices in this case, so he's not seeing infinite choices, he's only seeing like the big choices, such as Baryon mode activates or it doesn't. And so he can only see up to moments such as that, and he can only go up to the next big moment, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's another idea. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't use all of these. I would pick like a couple. You don't need to give them
No,
every
oh,
single
no,
one of
no,
these
I know. I was only
limitations.
just mentioning all of them, but we would probably only
Yeah.
choose one. Maybe 2 or 3, but like you get the idea. We've
Maybe
obviously
like
not choose
2,
all of them.
depending the ones that work
presenting-
synergistically, you can do.
Yeah, we're just presenting every possibility of the ones that we think would be decent at the very least.
Yeah.
Another one, I really like this one, is just take out the all possible futures. Take out the possible futures. He sees one future. He sees the future, but this still completely works because the future, as he says, isn't a straight path. It can change based on choices. So what he's seeing is the future, assuming nothing changes and no one makes a choice to change it. So it's the future that will happen, not might happen. So
yeah, I was alluding to that one at one point, but I don't like it as much because that like things just are going a certain way unless you go out of your way to change it versus it's all up to everyone just does what they do and it's like everything's just your own choices. It feels like there's like a supposed to be route, which I don't like as much. It's fine for Momoshiki to feel that way, but I don't like that idea as much in this case. But I think obviously, let me get the obvious one out of the room. Why doesn't he just see 10 possible futures? Like,
yeah.
that was the first thing that came to my mind.
Mhm.
Shouldn't he just like, regardless, I know when I first read it, I thought it was implying there just are 10 possible futures. It just doesn't go beyond 10. But
something that could be interesting, because he has Shibai cells, this is Shibai's ability. What if he only sees the future from Shibai's perspective? That could somehow be a weird limitation. So the future doesn't make sense to him in some regards, maybe?
yeah.
Or even he sees moments from the future, but either out of order or he just can't see every moment leading up to it. So, for example, he sees the worst possible future, but he doesn't know how we get there.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, so for one of the ideas I said, you either have him see the big moments, but not what comes next, or he sees the futures, but not what leads to it.
Okay.
So he would see the worst possible future without knowing how we get there, kind of thing.
Yeah. But the one that I presented
least
that
not all
you
how we
don't
get there.
like, I think you either misunderstand it or you don't actually not like it, because it's not saying that it will happen. It's saying that if no one makes a choice to
It's
change
supposed-
it, then it's not that
No,
it's
but that's-
supposed to happen.
But that's what I'm.
It's that if no choice is made to change
if
it,
no
then
one
it's
makes a
gonna happen. Like,
But that implies that there is a set planned path. If no one makes the choice to change the future,
but no,
well,
there
why is
isn't.
the future anything in particular? Because people are going to act a certain way. But that implies that that's how they're supposed to act if no one changes. I don't. not a
But
huge fan of that.
they're
It
not
feels
going to
weird.
act a certain way because they have the choice, which is what makes this irrelevant in the first place.
But then it makes the ability useless.
The choice exists, and no, it doesn't. It makes
Because
it
that
as
implies
useful
that
as it
people
is
just
now.
don't make choices. Like, if no one makes any choices.
Well, yeah, exactly. But people have the ability to make choices, which is why the future changes. So what he would be saying would just be...
And Koji can't see how that changes.
Oh my god. So looking at my screen right now, he's seeing multiple...
I'm not looking at your screen. I'm away.
Whatever. Okay, I'm on the panel where he's looking at the futures. And he sees multiple of the film reels all at once. So in this case, he would see one film reel, and he would see all the others, but all the other ones would be whited out. They would still have the connective lines of the choices, but only one of the film reels would have information that he can see. He knows the other ones exist and that we can go to them, but he can't see them until we're actually on them based on the choices made to get there. So he's only seeing the ones that are on the path that we're leading to right now.
Yeah, but my thing is, the path we're on right now is because of a choice in all cases. There's no case where a choice wasn't made. It's just choices are always being made.
Yes,
so it's just
this path is the one saying that if no other choice is made, this is the one that's going to happen. To change the future, that is.
When you say no other choice, do you mean it in the sense that nobody ever makes a choice? That's how it sounds. Or do you mean if we don't go to the other crossroad?
A choice that actually changes the future. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if KCM Naruto goes with his left hook or his right hook against Ishiki. He's gonna die unless he activates Baryon mode. So that's a choice that doesn't matter. So only the choices that matter that change the future.
Yeah, but it... How do I explain
What is your
this?
hesitation?
I don't... It's just the way you're phrasing it, I think, is probably the main thing.
It fine. Like, it's like you're saying that I'm saying Neji's right or something. Like, there's one predetermined path or something.
Yeah, that's basically how it sounds when you phrase it the way you do.
But Naruto already proved that wrong because he made the choice to not listen to Neji. But the point is, if Naruto's stuck on the path and just didn't change Neji's mind, that's the future we would have got.
I don't think you're on the path. It's just you have I'm just going to use 10 to make this simple. There are 10 paths you can take. You have 10 different choices you can make to pick a different path. You're not on one of the paths. You've got to pick, like, for example, there's 10 mystery doors. You have to walk into one of them. If you stand here, you're not going into any of the doors. You have to choose a door. Now, I suppose the way you're framing it is just keep walking straight, and that's one of the doors. But if you do, in my hypothetical, the way I'm looking at it, you got to open the door. If you keep walking straight, you're just going to bump into the door and go nowhere. So it's all about how you're looking at it. Because the way I'm looking at it, you have to pick the door and open the door. Whereas you're seemingly looking at it, one of the doors is already open. It's going to keep walking into it. So far, are you understanding my analogy? And do you agree with how we're each looking at it?
I understand your analogy. I don't think it's necessarily the case. I think Naruto was on a set path, and he had to change his circumstances for his path to change. If Naruto never endured and overcome, then he would have just stayed the same stagnant person that he always was, and no one would have loved him or whatever. That would have been what Neji was talking
And
about.
this is where it gets tricky because it depends on context. Because in some cases, it feels like you are on a path. Like the path is being, at least you're being guided towards a path, and it's up to you to change it, kind of thing.
Because the
But
future is
for the
always going to
ability-
happen. Time always passes. And so the time of the choice is going to have to be made. You have to be on one of the paths. If there's 10 paths, you can't just be omnisciently off of any of the paths or on an 11th path waiting to choose one of the 10 choices. You have to be on one of the paths in the first place.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. I guess if you want to say Koji can see, I don't like saying the future. I think I would prefer to phrase it as he can see the current path.
Yeah.
And I know you might say that's the same thing, Kamui. It feels different.
It's fine, really.
And I like that phrasing better, I think.
You just
So
need to
it's
watch more
essentially the
time
exact
travel
same
out of it.
thing, just worded differently, which, like I said, it was the way you're wording it that bothered me.
Bro, just watch Tokyo Revengers or Dragon Ball and you'll agree, okay?
No!
Just watch
I'm
anything
only
with
gonna
time
watch
travel.
the ending. That's bad. Let's start
Oh
with
my
Platinum
God.
End, bro.
Okay.
I gotta finish Death Note. I gotta read the Naruto manga start to finish. We gotta do Platinum End. Let's start with these first.
You know what? You hate the term the future. Do you hate the present? Because the present is what the moment that determines the future based on the choices made in the present. The present moment is the
I
path,
don't hate
the one path.
the future. I don't like the way you were phrasing the ability, the hypothetical rewrite of the ability.
Okay, do you think there's one past in Naruto?
Yeah.
Do you think there's one present in Naruto?
Yeah.
That is the one path they're currently on. That's how I see it.
There you go. You're using my phrasing. The current path.
Yeah.
Thank you for agreeing.
And the path is continuing in a straight line. You have to change the path.
Not necessarily. It wasn't necessarily in a straight line. For all we know, it was the past to the present was in a bendy curve or a diagonal angle. I don't know what it was like.
Oh my god. Kamui, okay, if you shoot a bow and arrow, let's just say the bow and arrow is sentient. If the bow and arrow just doesn't make a choice, it's just gonna go in the straight line and hit the target it was gonna hit anyway.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, leading up to this moment, it wasn't necessarily straight, because maybe in the past, the bow and arrow did make a choice, and it turned to the right. It's not going straight. I don't know what it looked like. So I don't know that the past to the present was a straight line. That might have been a diagonals thing.
But then you're changing my
Might be an angled
hypothetical.
line.
So that doesn't
If you
answer my
asked me
hypothetical.
if it was straight, I don't know. But regardless, the point is, there isn't a the future. There is a the future, but it's all down to the specific way you phrased it. Because saying Koji can see the future, but it's not necessarily right, just means, okay, he sees one future, and he sees the future under an assumption. What's that assumption? The current path they seemingly are trending on, but they can change it. But I'm phrasing it that way, and it sounds great that way. But when you just says he sees the future, I don't remember what you said word for word earlier. I just didn't like the way you've worded it.
I was
But it seems
wording
like you
it
agree with me
carefully
with
because
this
I
current
knew
path
you were
thing,
going to
so-
be so nitpicky about it. I was trying to be caring from your such pedantic perspective. Okay, I have another analogy for you.
It seems like you agree with me that you like the current path thing, so let's just agree
that's
on that.
fine. It's like I said, it's the same thing, but whatever. Okay, another example, just because I think
I
you'll
told you, you're
you'll
gonna
get
say
this one.
it's the same
I
thing,
think
but
you're gonna get this
I feel
one.
different about
I
it.
think you're gonna get this one. Okay. Itachi. Let's just assume for right now, for this hypothetical, so you cannot change this hypothetical. In this hypothetical,
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You already agree with me. You like the current path. I mean, do your hypothetical because now I'm curious.
oh my
but
god!
still.
Shut up, so I can do it. Okay, so in this hypothetical, Itachi's disease that killed him is natural. It wasn't some unknowingly thing that he found in a cave one day. He was just, from the moment he was born, he was gonna die at like 16 years old from his lung disease or whatever it was. So that's his path, his future, or whatever. Hypothetically, he could have made a choice when he was 8 years old to pursue a cure, and then he could have deviated from that one-shot path, or he's gonna die at 16 years old of this natural thing, but that was his path, and then he changed it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
His future was
honestly,
determined.
It's the word path. That's what makes this. That's what makes this great.
Oh
it's
my god!
Just use the word path. The current path.
Okay, so your problem isn't my idea. It's just the word future.
Now.
You just hate the word the future. The future is the problem here. It's not the idea. The path is so much better, Rudy. It sounds nicer.
It is, bro. It is. Okay, so I do like this one. I liked, regardless if it's the one Koji's gonna see. Well, actually, you could just combine these two if you wanted to have Koji see the current path, but his current path. Or it could be the current path for everyone. But that also seems like, I mean, it's a pretty ridiculous ability. I think, let me ask you this. Okay. The current path, you're gonna take that phrasing and like it. Would you prefer, because it seems like this is a cool one. Would you prefer that Koji sees the current path of everyone, just in general, the world, or the current path for his future specifically?
This is so stupid.
One's stronger than the other.
Doesn't matter. I know. The path here is so
we're talking about rewriting the ability. Which would you prefer it to be? That he's, regardless of the semantics of current path, would you prefer it to be his future or the world's future?
Yeah, I know. Okay. So, actually, I wasn't thinking about it like that. I was thinking about it in terms of he can only... Basically, like, unlike the Senrigan tour, Ada can just view anywhere regardless if someone is there or not, as opposed to Koji, which, hypothetically, he can only see, like, maybe a first-person or third-person perspective of people when they're actually there.
Oh, I don't think... well, I think Koji's just like Ada's, to where it doesn't matter if people are there or not.
I know, but I was saying that as a hypothetical. Could be another limitation, but...
But yeah, that would be a matter of like seeing certain people's futures.
Yeah, I want to freaking explain my Itachi thing more, even though you already got it. So with the Itachi thing... If Itachi makes no choice, he's gonna die. If Itachi makes choices that don't matter, he's gonna die the exact same. If Itachi makes the choice that matters, that deviates from this path, and he lives. Which is finding the cure. But any other choice doesn't necessarily matter in this case. So there you go. Yeah, but the point is, if he doesn't make a choice, he's gonna die. His future is predetermined, if you want to say it like that. It's the events. Similarly,
yeah, it's not that his future's predetermined, but it's that there's a path. He's by default been pushed down a path. You know, it's like you're at the top of the river, and then maybe there's like eight river fork directions, and you know, Fugaku pushed him down one of them. And from there, it's up to him to get to another path.
Going back to Naruto, similarly, if he listened to his inside voices, which he told Hinata that he has right before he fought Neji, and that's his like truce over with, if he listened to that and just gave up...
Oh, inside... That's hilarious. Okay, so I'm sorry, but real quick, I was so confused because I was thinking like, inside voices, be quiet, not like internal thoughts, and I was like, wait, what scene is this?
Oh my god. Yeah, his doubts. If he listened to his doubts and just gave up, then he would have just stayed in the academy or not learned shadow clones or graduated or became a ninja or stabbed his hand. He would have went back to the village instead of going on the land of waves, etc., etc. In fact, I think the land of waves thing is perfect.
Yeah.
If Naruto didn't stab his hands, he just would have gone back to the village. That's not a choice he made. but it's what was gonna happen. So he had
What
to
wasn't a choice?
him
The
going back to
or
the
the stabbing
village.
the hand?
If he didn't stab his hand, his choice wasn't he didn't have a choice. He was just gonna go back to the village. He chose to stab his hand.
Pretty
That
much.
choice changed his future.
Unless Kakashi was just gonna make him stay anyway, I guess.
Well, no,
It's
because the
possible, it wouldn't
poison.
matter.
The poison. He wasn't gonna let that slide. He was gonna take him back to the village.
Oh right, I forgot with the poison.
Yeah. But I think that analogy works. I think that makes
Dude, the
sense.
Land of
Same
Waste
with
is
the
so good.
Itachi one. I know. It's a lot better than Boruto chapter 80. Okay. Does
Definitely.
the future path, if we were to combine the two together, does that make sense to you?
You know, we already agreed.
Okay.
It was just
so,
the way you initially said it I didn't like.
So
But
hypothetically,
we've established how it works.
if Koji just was made 30 years ago when Amado was a teen, then Koji would have seen Naruto, with this limitation in place, he would have seen Itachi die, and he would have seen Naruto go back to the village. Because he can't, under the limitations of this hypothetical rewrite, he couldn't see the results of the choices of the other ones. Yes.
Correct.
You like that.
Well, the deviations, let's say, because in some cases there could be a choice that you're expected to make.
Okay.
But the
Because in this case, this does go away from your initial complaint of the 10 doors thing. Because he is seeing the predetermined path, if you want to call it like that.
Yeah, that's what I said. It depends on how you're framing it. But I'm fine with this. Is like I said, it's just a slightly different phrasing, but it
It's
feels
not phrased
nicer.
differently at all. Just changes the word future to path.
You worded it a certain way. When you said he sees the, I forgot how you initially said it specifically, but it just didn't sit right with me.
Okay. Anyways, I think that's good for that.
Yeah.
I did have another thing to say about this though. It's not an absolute thing, but many futures show it happening, and what happens is pretty similar. I had something to say about this. I forgot what it was. It's not an absolute thing, but many futures. I forgot what it was. It's so freaking long ago at this point. Jesus Christ. This was another limitation I had. I don't remember what it was. Oh well. I think that should also be another limitation, though, is that he just doesn't know the possibilities. They're just all equally likely to happen.
Well, that's if you follow by.
Well, I'm saying for the rewrite of the
limitation.
limitation.
Discussing, right? Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I think that should be the case.
I mean, I think the long story short is with all these ideas, there should be a spot for Koji to have to use some like guesswork and like, you know, he has to think about it. Like he's got to be like L and try to put the pieces together himself versus the ability giving him the answers. So it's fine if regardless of which one you want to pick, he would go with that last one. He sees the current path, but not the other possibilities or even necessarily the choices. But if he can surmise where certain choices could have been made to deviate those paths, and he can surmise where that would lead, that's fine. That's just an intelligence feat on Koji, and that's totally cool. It makes it almost cooler if Koji is right, not because of the ability, but because of his brain. That just feels cool, at least, versus just, oh yeah, I saw it was in the ability.
Yeah, what I don't like about yours is so the Ishiki fight. Yours in terms of your not liking of mine. so the fact that it's like 10 possible doors and you could be any of them, and there is no predetermined path. What I don't like about that is it sort of removes the stakes, because that means there was no guarantee.
No, I agree.
Yeah, but because
when I said it, that was just how I was initially thinking about it. But no, I would remove that. I would say you're on a certain path because just thinking about like the thing that came to my mind that said never mind to that is the whole cycle of hatred thing with Naruto and Sasuke and Astra. The point is they were on the path. They had to change it. So if it just wasn't a path, it's kind of like it removes the stakes. It removes the accomplishment because it's not much of a feat. Otherwise, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So no, I would say you're on one of the doors is open. You're just already on that path.
Yeah. I would, in a way, it's almost weird because from the first person perspective, your choices are the only choices that can change your future. So, like, hypothetically, if you're a time traveler and you travel to the future, everyone else already made their choices. But, like, if you travel back and forth, they're going to make those same choices almost as if it is a predetermined path. But, like, they're making those choices in the present moment. You're just skipping over that present moment. And you're also not them, so you can't make their choice for them. They're always making the same choice. So, hypothetically, in Dragon Ball, the bad guy makes the androids, which are basically the Terminators, and he does it no matter what. And the bad guys have to go stop the dude from making the Terminators. And if they don't do that, in the future, he just is going to make the choice to make the Terminators. Like, there is no hypothetically he might not, because the time traveler knows, hey, he's gonna do this.
Yeah.
So it's almost like events based on, like, the third person. Only your first person perspective changes anything. Similar to Tokyo Revengers, dude teleports back 12 years in time. He knows what choices everyone else is going to make over those next 12 years. Unless he changes them or their choice. Unless he does something to influence the future. Yeah. But going with this, though, because this just means there just always was a possibility that Naruto was just never going to lose against Ishiki. And I like it to where Ishiki was going to win unless Naruto did something. Which is Naruto overcoming not only Ishiki, but destiny, the future, fate, whatever. Even Neji, to an extent. Like, this almost invalidates Naruto's point against Neji, if that was the case. Because there was always the possibility that Naruto was just gonna win regardless. Rather than Naruto making a choice to win, necessarily. Or overcoming, enduring, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then same with all the rest of these. Because that's why I like these. It keeps being overcome because they're ninja, which proves the whole Naruto side of things, Boruto side of things, correct and Kwaki incorrect. Say time and time again, they've overcome the fates that Koji keeps seeing. He saw them lose against Ishiki. He saw them lose against Code. He sees them lose against Jura. And if they don't do anything, then they will. But because they're ninja, that's why they're fighting anyway, so they can.
Actually, I thought of another thing we could put in the mistakes tab. We should show Koji seeing the ninjas always winning, and then put it side by side with Kawaki saying, "I knew it. You shinobi really are destined to die early."
Yeah, I was thinking about it as well earlier. We need to put the biggest Boruto plot hole with the Koji thing as well. Both of them, honestly. The fact that he's went for the Hokage and the fact that he was just accepting death.
Oh, yeah.
Both of those.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit of a plot hole.
Yeah.
But anyway,
basically, I think the heart of the shinobi is what I would qualify as whatever changes the future. If Boruto or Naruto just didn't have the heart of the shinobi, or the heart of the shinobi didn't persist, then they would have lost against Ishiki here, or they would have lost against Code here. And so, yeah, it comes down to these individuals having the heart of the shinobi to change the future, the one future, because it's changing.
Don't do the one future thing.
Well, it's changing, so it's changing from that one future to a different one future.
Don't use one future, just do that future to another future. Anyway, no, I definitely think at least one of these many hypothetical limitations would be very good.
Yeah.
I also like the cooldown aspect because, and I like it as a long cooldown. So I actually like once every 3 years because from this perspective, because this one you can just tag along to any other weakness, it gives a strategic timing aspect because Koji doesn't want to essentially waste his next use too early. He wants to use it at the best possible, the most efficient moment he can. Because if he uses it, but like just at a bad time, maybe like it influences what he's able to see. So he's got to be strategic with it. That's sort of idea at least. Now, obviously, this depends on how far out you can see. If you can just see infinitely out, then it doesn't really matter. But if you can only see out to a certain point, and there's the 3-year cooldown, let's say, like Koji would want to use it wisely so that he's not like wasting it at stupid moments. Because let's just say you're using your whole hypothetical, you see up to a certain crossroad, but there's also a 3-year cooldown, let's say. If Koji wastes it on the dumbest crossroad possible, he has wasted the next 3 years of this ability. So he wants to use it when it matters, basically. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, similar to Koto with Danzo or whoever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you want to use it on the wisely, essentially.
I don't want them to
Itachi doesn't want
reuse.
to waste Shizui's eye on freaking Mifune like Danzo does.
Yeah, I don't want them to reuse limitations they've used before, make up new ones. Even in Tokyo Revengers, the limitation was the fact that he had to handshake someone, the main character did. He had to handshake one specific person. And so there's one moment to where in the future, he's in jail, and so he knows if he handshakes the person in the past, he's not going to be able to handshake them in the future because he's in jail, so he's not able to access that person. So he just can't go to the future until he changes it. And likewise, there's another moment to where the guy in the future just dies, and so it just doesn't work. Like, he tries to shake the dude in the present, in the past or whatever, and he just can't teleport to the future because he's not alive in the future to have his hand be shooken in the first place, I guess. If that makes sense. That's the limitation there. He has to access the person, which isn't always readily available. And also, to a degree, risky, because who knows where he's going to be in the future. But yeah. There was more limitations, but I forgot them, because we freaking went on for way too long about that nonsense. But whatever.
I know.
Think we've listed at least.
Should we switch gears, or just keep going with chapter stuff?
How long are we in? We're 2.5 hours almost.
Yeah, so I'd like to try and do like maybe an hour and a half. 3:30 at the absolute latest. 3 was a good idea. I'll say 3:15 right in the middle, hour and a half. So I mean, it's up to you on how much you want to spend on Naruto rewrite topics.
Well,
I feel like we've had so many building up that it's just okay. Yeah.
Okay, so you're looking at my screen. Okay, so I'm just gonna scroll. So all of this is chapter 13. Just letting you know. Well, none of this is, but we get a little bit more down here. Not all this, but like some of this, anyways.
Well, some of this is intersplice,
but yeah, like maybe like a fifth of this. But the point is, like, it's at the very least, it's like all this. So.
Okay, let me skim through and let's each pick out, let's say.
Well, okay, let me do this one if I'm picking one.
3 most interesting topics of this.
I already got one right here. So this should be about preventing the future, one singular at a time, not every possible future all at once. Stopping Ishiki was first, then Code, then Kawaki, and now the Shinju. Focus on one at a time.
I guess they kind of are, because we're already at the Shinju.
I know, but I don't like the idea.
But
I
agree to the concept. It's almost just like, because we weren't introduced to Koji's ability until after all those other ones, but Koji had it the whole time.
Yeah, I feel like we basically just did explain this just now. So.
Yeah.
It's a good one to touch on, though.
Holy Boruto topics. I don't even know where the start of this is.
It's at the very bottom, if you remember I did that.
Oh, here it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Now I've lost it.
oh, this is an interesting one. Amato confirmed has Shibai cells. Does he already have a Shinjutsu? Will he manifest one? When? What is it? Will it be? What will it be? Where does Amato currently scale?
Thoughts?
It's so weird because, again, Koji implies that every member
I
of,
was
which
gonna say
states that
that.
every member of
Yeah.
Kara has a Shinjutsu, but then he doesn't list Amato as either having it or not having it.
I mean, does Kawaki have it? Because he didn't think about Kawaki.
Again, he doesn't list Kawaki as having it or not having it.
But,
But
like, Kawaki's
Kawaki's
an
a little bit
inner member.
different because at least you can say Kawaki's not a Kara member, even though he kind of is, he's kind of not. He's not an actual member, but he's kind of a part of
Kawaki
Kara at the
doesn't
same
consider
time.
himself a member.
And we know he was modified.
But Kawaki is a Kara inner, even if he rejected it.
Because of the tattoo.
Well, no. Kawaki says to Naruto, like, before the Kawaki reveals his name, before he destroys the vase, Kawaki's like, hey, yeah, I'm like a Kara inner, but like I don't consider myself one, so you're not gonna get any information from me.
Let me double check. I remember what you're talking about, but also I don't remember how he worded it.
Might as well.
But let me just go find it. Okay, it's definitely after he wakes up. So was it in the house or outside the house?
In the house.
Do you think? I guess he's not outside the house for long. Okay.
I looked at this recently, so.
Oh no, he says, I already gave you all I know about Kara. I'm not a member. I don't know much.
What chapter is that?
26. Page 26.
Pages
That's
don't help
confusing.
me, but alright.
Your thing seems to be incorrect chapters. Try chapter 25.
Yeah, I was gonna say. What chapter is it for you? Because this is a present for me.
The title is...
That's funny. It
present,
says
okay.
27 in the chapter. Why is this wrong? The breakdown of negotiations. But it says next chapter is that. Okay,
yeah, so I'm saying, like, your thing's like one chapter off for some reason.
I don't freaking get it, bro. Why is this art so bad?
Almost there. Wait. Are you before or after?
It's gonna be before this.
Okay, before he starts looking around the house. Oh yeah, wait. Oh, you were just there. You were just there. If you're talking about Kara, it's as I've said before. I'm not a fellow member. I don't have any valuable intel.
I think in the anime he says something exactly opposite of this because I just watched this. You remember like freaking the Kawaki interview?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Anyways.
But either way, we know Kawaki was modified by Amato, and even Amato modified himself. But like, Koji, it's not just Victor, not just Deepa, not just Uga. He doesn't mention Kawaki or Amato here. So it's like, from Koji's perspective, do Amato or Kawaki have Shibai cells or not? Each of us Kara members. Well, Amato is definitely a Kara member. Victor's expecting Amato to be at the meetings. Probably an inner. Certainly a member.
Bro, he's definitely calling a Kara member inner at some point. What the heck is he? I don't freaking know.
There's no way Amato isn't a Kara member.
Yeah. I mean, at the very least, he has a stupid thing on his. He has the 4. He has the 4 on his forehead, on the cheek. Don't tell me it's a 9. It is a 4. Always gonna call it 4.
Yeah, they're right. I mean,
Like, why does he have it if he's not a member? But he says he's not a member. I don't know.
Well, he is a member. He's just saying he's not a member.
Yeah, he doesn't know anything.
I mean, I bet he low-key
But that
does
said,
know a little
what
bit.
would Amato manifest for Shinjutsu? That's an interesting.
Yeah, what do you think? We probably should learn a little bit
I don't
more
know.
about Amado before we make any definitive claims, but
Yeah, it's kind of hard. Like, I'm not sure.
I mean, this is ridiculous, but I really, really, really infinitely wish that Delta's eye beams were just a Shinjutsu instead of Ninja Tech. At the very least, the beams, regardless of everything else. Everything else can be scientific Ninja Tech. Make the beams freaking Shinjutsu.
Yeah, that
They
could
neg
work.
healing.
Not much narrative significance that I can think of from that, but at least it's cool.
It negs healing. It's freaking cool.
I think exactly, yeah, it's just cool. I think a cool one for Amato, or at least an interesting one, would be his ability to reconstruct karmas. Now, we don't know enough about what that is, but hypothetically, that could be a Shinjutsu. Something related with karma.
Yeah. In fact, that could be interesting if if other Otsutsuki didn't have karma as a Shinjutsu, because not every Otsutsuki has every Shinjutsu, as we know, based on Momoshiki. It's like, what if even maybe Ishiki didn't have a karma? A little bit of a rewrite there, but Amado just did. And maybe this is why he's giving kids karma / Shibai cells to get one that has a karma, so that they can give it to Jigen. A little bit of a rewrite, but still.
That could be interesting. Or if Amato is how Jigen got his karma in the first place. And you can just keep the whole Jigen's a bad vessel thing, but Ishiki was just in his brain, all that jazz, and then Amato is the reason Ishiki gets a karma, because Amato built it, kind of thing.
Do you think Amado would live having a karma implanted? Does he have a karma implanted? Can he karmify his own self? It's like Momoshiki's explanation, no. Every other instance, seemingly, yeah. I don't see why not. Would it do anything? But
I don't. Part of it depends on how the whole karma reconstruction process actually worked. If it works the way that I have thought, pre-potential Amato having Shibai Cell Shinjutsu shenanigans, then Amato scientifically compresses the data. Kawaki himself actually did the, Otsutsuki Shinjutsu part on himself. But if Amato actually has an ability to reconstruct karmas through a Shinjutsu mechanic, then but the problem is implanting it on yourself isn't gonna do anything. Oh, and you know what? Actually, though, let me take that back. In theory, it would until you resurrect. Hear me out. Because that's essentially the Byakugo seal. It's only chakra, no DNA, but you're compressing chakra, storing it, and then overlaying your body with it to give yourself an amp. With the karma, it's easy peasy. You just get to do it all at once and boom. So Momoshiki or Ishiki could hypothetically just implant a karma on himself to give himself an amp until the karma extracts. And if he just doesn't resurrect it himself, he'll just keep the amp whenever he uses karma.
Stupid. Bro,
just double the power.
I hate karma. I wish that the Otsutsuki just became the karma. Their physical body just became the karma, and they just don't have a physical body anymore, and their soul is in the karma. How cool would that be if Boruto just had Momoshiki on his hand instead of the karma?
Are you going to keep the resurrecting stuff? Or
yeah, you can keep that all the same.
Besides,
it doesn't really change anything.
All it changes is that if Ishiki's not in Jigen and Kawaki at the same time. It's one or the other, basically.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Or at the least, you could still basically do what they did, how they did it, it's the slightest tweak ever. You could just have Amato clone Jigen's karma onto Kawaki, which I do think is what happened. And that's how he gets it on 2 vessels through Amato. But Ishiki is in Jigen's, like the Kawaki one is just the karma for now until he somehow transfers over. He has to do something to transfer over or something like that.
Okay. Interesting. Oh, by the way, I forget the explanation is one of two. Either Delta's beams neg regen because it just burns so burny, or because it doesn't actually destroy, but it just converts the matter into nothing. Which would be interesting.
The way that it was described was that it's still weird. Basically, it was described that it kills the cells so they can't heal. You can't repair the cells because the cells just are disintegrated, dead, and killed. For Koji's Trance of True
disintegrated
Flames,
would be
it just
like
burns
that,
too
then.
fast.
Because kill wouldn't make sense. That's not how
it doesn't
healing
make sense
works.
either way.
Well, no, disintegrating does make sense.
It doesn't make sense. No, it doesn't, because my guy was disintegrated Madara pretty good, and he just regenerated.
I don't think Night Guy burned Madara.
It doesn't matter if it's burned. Madara was
disintegrated, I should say.
Madara's arm is gone. What does it matter if the cell is it's just not there?
I don't
it's
think
not the same.
I don't think Madara had healing.
What Kawaki was described. Well, this is what I'm saying. What Kawaki describes is a good counter to healing, but it wouldn't affect regeneration, except the way they describe it is that it negs regeneration, which doesn't make sense with how it works.
Because, hypothetically,
so it still doesn't make sense.
You lose a lung. Your foot isn't just going to mitosis lung cells. It would just mitosis foot cells in the lung's position. It's a random example, but to reach it, but just to get to the point. Yeah. It's not going to do it like that. But
yeah. And so that's why it makes sense from the healing perspective for her I-beams to neg healing. But he says it negs regeneration, which doesn't make sense with
disintegrate
how
makes
the
sense to me,
works.
though. Because that's essentially...
It doesn't make sense for regeneration. Regeneration just creates new cells anyway.
It creates new cells if it's there to be in a creation process. If you destroy the original cells...
Not when it comes to Naruto regeneration.
If you destroy the original cells, then there's nothing left to regenerate.
That's not true in Naruto and Boruto. Tell that to Boro, Victor, and Madara.
Well, they had their cells killed, not incinerated.
No, they were incinerated.
Well, they were
burned.
Watch
what they were doing to Boro in that
They
fight?
were burned.
Bro, they incinerated Boro.
Yeah, they were fired. They were on
on
fire. They weren't disintegrated. They were just gone.
Yes, they were. Bro, stop the trolling.
I'm not. You're just using the word wrong.
No, I'm not, bro.
They were still in existence.
Look up disintegrate right now.
Oh my god. Disintegrate.
And let's also check what Kawaki says about it. I'll check the
break
Kawaki
up into
part while
small
you look
parts,
that up.
typically as the result of impact or decay.
Okay, so that definitely was disintegrated.
At a subatomic level.
Don't need to explain that.
So I don't even... I'm not even meaning disintegrate then. Because I don't mean break up into small parts. I mean it's just not there anymore.
Yeah, I don't think Delta's I-beams do that.
Yeah, because disintegrate, it can just come back together. I'm talking about it just not existing anymore. Just not there.
Well, but that's not what Boro does anyway. He doesn't make him come back together. He just grows completely separate limbs.
So you concede that Boro isn't being disintegrated?
Says the cells of any body parts that are hit get completely obliterated, and you would use obliterate for the Rasengan too.
Obliterate would work. Let's see the definition of obliterate. Destroy, utterly, wipe out. I'm changing my word to obliterate. Thank you.
Yeah, but that happens with when you Rasengan all of Boro's body.
No, it was destroyed, but it
Those
wasn't
cells were
destroyed
obliterated.
utterly.
Yes, it was.
Nah, it just looks like it was.
Those cells were definitely destroyed. The cells weren't functional whatsoever.
Yeah, but not utterly.
Yes, they were. They were utterly destroyed.
We'll just agree to disagree.
Yes, let's do that.
Okay. So, what Shinjuju do you think Kabuto should have?
I think something related to his reconstructed karma would be interesting. If not that, not sure, but something cool and dangerous in the hands of someone smart is all I'm gonna ask.
You know what? I don't care who has it, but I think Amado would be the coolest to have it. The Shinjutsu where you just wave your hand and it creates storms.
Oh, that's the one for Delta.
Why?
Because someone in comments was saying that.
You see, we have a totem pole. At the top is Kishimoto. Right below that is Kodachi. He's like the dirt. And you got like the worms in the dirt. That's Ikimoto. And then you got like the maggots on the worms. That's the comment section. There's a hierarchy to these things.
I will admit, Amado is definitely the funniest one to have that Shinjutsu.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, it felt freaking hard for Amado. Like, with his character design, like, I didn't imagine, like, the glare in his glasses as he just does it, as he's, like, smoking a cigar. Like, it looked freaking awesome.
What about the one where but what about Amado roaring?
Listen. That is an Ikimoto headcanon
Amado
panel.
roaring.
That is fan art. Ikimoto's fan art.
Should we make that our ninja? We make Amado roaring and we pretend it's someone else.
Stupid. I wish I didn't know.
It'll be really funny.
What?
Like, actually, okay, this would be really, really funny. This would be the best way to test whether Ikimoto watches the anime.
Mm-hmm.
Design Deepa, give him the same personality and abilities, and arguably even the same name. And just do the same name and see if he notices.
Bro, honestly, you gotta choose someone who's just not relevant, like the freaking girl fabrication. Like, he's gonna recognize Deepa regardless if he's watched the anime. No way you wouldn't.
Okay. So we'll have to do someone more. I wanted to do Deepa because Deepa's like, they go. But
we should do like Jaggy the Wolf or something. Something that's recent, but probably hasn't seen. Even Hana Sensei, maybe, but that might be too big as well. Oh, I know a good one. The samurai ghost from the hot spring or whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
The blue ghost thing that Konohamaru fights. Or what about the guy who looks like Code?
Oh my god. Even funnier, we just call him Code. Ikimoto's so confused. Why are they sending me Code?
No, I like the idea of doing one of the fabrications, actually. No, actually, that's the best arc to do it. Because that's the arc to be clown on him for copying Mitsuki's character arc. But in a worse way. Because I'm not gonna lie, I was thinking about this earlier. I was like, as much as I like the Mitsuki character, I was like, bro, the Two Blue Vortex version of this amounted to Boruto saying, "Bro, you matter," and then Mitsuki says, "I never thought about it till now, but I matter too." The end. Whereas in the Mitsuki desertion arc, it's an actual arc.
Yeah.
Actual character arc going on there.
So if he rejected that, it would be arguably even funnier. Because that isn't our character design. He's basically just dissing the official character design actually already in the series. Ikimoto is calling Boruto trash.
I was imagining though he accepts. He's like, "Wow, that's a really cool ninja," and he just makes no comment about the anime. He'd be like, "Bro, did he not notice?" I want to test this now.
We could even do like the Naruto movie 3 antagonist. Be like, "Hey, here's the next Otsutsuki. Look at their cool karma seal design."
How many submissions can you make?
I mean, how many accounts can we make?
Well, you do have like 12 YouTube accounts to work with.
How much time do we got? Bro, you know what?
I was brainstorming the other day an idea for like an actual one, but like I also want to do the joke ones too.
Okay. We should.
After they did the frog guy.
That's hilarious, yeah. You know what? Screw the Shinjutsu. I don't care if it's Shinjutsu or not. Give Amado Delta's eye beams, but don't have him use it in combat. Have it be out of nowhere, where no one's expecting it, and it's like a huge plot twist, and he just gets his way because of it. Almost like the Zetsu backstab thing.
Even if it's not the eye beams, it can just be that stupid sound device I've been waiting to make its return for all this time. I'm never gonna let that one go.
The eye beams would be cool because it's an insta kill rather than the sound thing is just gonna knock someone out. Like even Shikadai, the one who he was freaking prophesized to kill, basically. Have him kill him in front of Shikamaru at this point. I don't care.
Yeah, then maybe Shikadai will get his act together.
That's awful to say, but I love it. Oh my god.
I actually do want that. I want Amado to do something. The problem is this worst possible future. Again, it doesn't confirm Amado is irrelevant, but it feels like he is.
Yeah, bro. I don't want him to just do it. I want him to have like some crazy speech and then do it. Like he sees Koji and then we get 20 pages of them talking and then he just negs Koji out of nowhere. They're not in combat or anything. They're just talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, like having a seat. Like if Koji, before fighting Jigen, if Koji just did have Delta's eyes and then just used it at the end of the Jigen speech when he's like sitting down in the chair after finding Naruto and Sasuke. Something like that. Crazy. But anyways. Cool. I want it to actually do something. I don't want it to be like a clone or anything. I want it to be something big.
Yeah, I feel that.
Okay.
Which obviously doesn't have to be Shinjutsu. It can just be like ninja deck.
Okay,
Nonsense,
I want to do this one really quick because we're already technically talking about it.
Now looking at, I don't know if you want to go into more Jorah leaving is bad, but you have a whole block related to that.
We aren't doing this because this is all going together for like one long thing, which we're obviously not doing right now. And it is also related to like a Tokyo Revengers thing, which I don't want to get into right now.
Oh.
And is this part that though? Yes.
Oh, I bet it's this funny thing.
I see it both above and below, so it's got to be.
Now I know what this is about. My photo. No, it doesn't. Probably need to scroll down.
This? No.
Oh, but keep going. Right below your spoiler, right there.
This? Okay.
I was like, what is that? I had to read Troy's caption.
Obviously. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it's so funny anyways. Absolutely gonna wait for Choi. Let's see. Okay, so close your eyes. I'm gonna see what the spoiler topic is.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, we're not doing that right now. It's a whole can of worms. Hilarious. Really quick, going with the whole Amado Shinjutsu thing, I thought this was relevant. So, when Kawaki Karma blasts Garo, I don't mean in episode 189, I mean in episode like 188, during the flashback where we see Kid Kawaki, and this is when he's knocking off Garo's chin for the first time, when they're in the Kara base. When Garo's like choking...
Wait, hold on, wait.
When Garo's...
Garo, not Gara.
Well, I was saying Garo. You were just hearing it wrong. Anyways, when Garo's choking Kid Kawaki, and Kid Kawaki activates his Karma Seal for the first time in the Kara base, and just knocks out Garo's chin. You know what I'm talking about? Hopefully you in chat, audience, everyone does. Okay, so Amado and Koji are the only ones on the sideline watching this. Amado in the dub says, "Yes, it's complete! Soon the world shall bow to Kara!"
Yeah,
What?
you know, in the subs, it was, "Yes, finally," or something, "the world will kneel before the Kara."
Bro is alone aside from Koji. He looks legit excited. There's no shot he's a good guy.
I mean, honestly, though, that might just be a random anime edition that's just gonna be dropped. I won't lie. But it wouldn't be the first thing that has happened. I mean, just look at Amado when he first arrives to Konoha. Bro is just being the most bad guy possible, just dissing Shikamaru and everyone constantly for like 20 pages before he gets to the point. And then when he's muttering underneath his hand and all this weird shit that just needs to get explained.
No, it's not going to be explained, but okay, let's see if it's here in the manga.
No, the whole Garo thing's not in this.
Oh, the flashback in general isn't in there.
Yeah, there's no flashback of when Kawaki did that.
So he just says
the world will kneel before the
thing?
car. I mean, this Koji saying it's a Delta, but like the obvious reasons.
So Koji says the chin thing, and that's it?
Well, he says it in the anime too, but he says it to Delta. Like, you know, soon this world shall know the name Kara. But like, he's literally acting for Delta. That goes without saying.
I'm talking about the flashback. When does he say the chin thing in the manga?
There's no flashback with Garo.
Okay, I've said it like 5 times. When does he say the chin thing?
About blowing up his chin?
Yes!
Like at the beginning of the fight, probably. Let me look.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be at the bottom of this chapter then. Precious vessel. Who is that? Garo. Express the other outers. Blabbering nonstop. Vessel.
God, it won't load.
Okay. A-holes like you shouldn't keep treating me as an object, you pig. This time I won't ask forgiveness for blowing away your jaw. Is that the only thing that we get in the manga? I guess so.
Yeah.
Trash.
In Biz is a different wording. Mine's not loading, and my Wi-Fi is probably being bad.
So if we are going to explain this as a not dropped plot point, how would you go about doing so? He's saying this to Koji. Or just out loud. In general.
Honestly, you cut off for some of that for me. I heard point, How would you go about doing so? I don't know what the question
How
is.
would you? So, assuming this isn't a dropped plot point, how would you go about explaining this?
Explaining what? Specifically? That the world will kneel before the Kara thing?
Amado saying it as well, yeah, back in the flashback.
Hmm.
Because he's talking about Kawaki's karma. Yes, it's complete. Soon the world shall bow to Kara.
Well, this the bad answer of Amado is saying it just in case Jigen or whoever was watching, but ignoring that one.
Only Koji was. I don't even think Garo could hear him from where he was.
You would have to just have Amado's motives be more sinister. Like he plans to, do something bad, take over the world, whatever.
I mean, it would definitely fix
through Kawaki as his vessel.
It would fix Amado going to the village, hoping that the Hokage can defeat Ishiki. It wouldn't fix Koji, but at least fix Amado. Well, assuming Koji's intentions are pure.
Well, Amado didn't think that was gonna happen anyway.
Whatever.
I mean, Amado didn't think Naruto was gonna be in the village anyway.
Exactly. My point. What is
I think I'm only hearing some of what you're saying. My wife.
Yeah, that is my point. I said, Kamui. Yes, I agree.
I definitely don't know what your point is, but
whatever.
I'm only hearing you bits and pieces.
Then you talk more. What are you going to say?
I don't know. I don't know what you were saying.
Well, now I'm done saying it.
I'm just gonna stop looking at this. But in the viz, he says that you'll lose more than just your chin this time.
Ooh.
Gonna stop looking at this now because I'm just gonna leave Discord open.
Okay. So, did you want to do the Naruto
rewrites now?
Can't
see your screen now.
You can't see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, my Wi-Fi feels like it's going out. Am I good? Chat? Is it Kamui? Y'all should look at the meme/edit I posted in Discord.
You can't even hear me, can you?
I can hear you. How it started.
Wait, oh god, I don't.
My god.
I don't know what's happening. Okay, it's working now. It seems.
Ash, you should post that on Twitter. That's funny. What exact panels did you get? These panels matter. Luigi isn't dead, I swear. Okay. I might want to eat him.
I might want to eat him. Don't let Mello see that. He's gonna interpret that a different way.
Mitsuki Boruto Gabo is so funny. Okay. Shout out chat. Not Haku. Matsuri should K-word Koji to get rid of prescience out. Is kill censored in the chat? That's crazy. Rose acting. Y'all should look at the memes. I think it's already. Okay. The first pick is from episode 21 of OG. Well, I know that. But anyways, I just realized, is your profile picture a piano thing? The what is it? The synthesasia? I forget. MIDI?
Yeah, it does look like that. From really far away, it kind of looks like Black Zetsu smiling though.
That's funny. I was thinking like a techno robot thing with like these two things being the eyes and then the mouth.
Yeah, it could be like the Super Monkey or Robo Monkey.
I see Black Zetsu though. That's hilarious.
I could see it.
Okay.
I went through the robot smiling to Black Zetsu to the piano to the super monkey. I can see all of it.
Oh my god. Okay, are we doing the Boruto rewrite or Naruto rewrites? Or just rewrites, whatever.
Yeah, let's do some of them.
Okay, I'm really curious
Okay,
what
I
you
don't know
had
what's at
for
the top.
rewriting Ameno Tejikara. We're not going for the top down. I feel like
Uh,
aren't these the reason you wanted to come here anyways?
no, there's just all of them, though, bro. There's like a billion up at the top.
There's a billion Naruto topics.
It wasn't any one in particular.
Okay,
It's the fact that we have like 50 of them.
Kamui, we have a billion Boruto chapter 13 topics.
And you know what, Oodie? Rewrites are more interesting than Boruto TBV Vortex.
Oh my god. Okay.
Wait, hold on. I want to see what's at the top of this. Let me figure out what I'm most
It's all
interested in.
mine. All of this is mine. Here's your first one, and it's just a response to mine. Here's your really first one.
Oh, actually, Anko won. Would I actually? Okay.
I want to get back to Anko because I want to do that
I
after you see
forgot the
something.
context of some of these.
We're gonna come back to these. We're gonna come
That's
back to the
funny.
Anko ones. We're not doing the Anko ones right now.
Oh, really?
Rewriting
That's what
Ameno
I'm most
Tejikara.
interested in. Okay.
I want to hear it. Should be short and sweet.
Well, I guess to start, in Naruto Shippuden, Sasuke could just do some other things that he does a couple of times. One of which is ridiculous. The one where he just teleports Madara wherever he wants to do that. And that's how he gets them in between him and Naruto to do the little jutsu thing they did where he does the limbo substitution.
Technically,
He's
was
also
swapping
able
the
to teleport.
places of Madara and something else.
He wasn't swapping the places. He just puts Madara there.
He swapped the place of the air.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's your workaround, but that's just stupid. Why doesn't he do that more often then? Because he just stops doing it. Like he teleports to Kaguya one time too, does it to Naruto one time too. But then he just stops doing the most OP thing in the world.
I thought that was a body flicker, assuming I'm thinking of the same one you are. Which one are you thinking of?
The one when he's in the gravity dimension and they're too slow to dodge the bones, but then he randomly just poofs next to Kaguya with his Rinnegan activated, and he says, "My ocular powers are back" before doing it.
Okay.
And I remember even the teleportation aspect was really cool. I don't remember word for word what I said. I doubt I have it written down. Let me actually see if I do. Because I remember I was going to make that a whole playlist, but I stopped. Because
I'm pretty sure every
obvious
instance
reasons.
he does swap something.
No, unless you're going to say he's swapping air.
No, I think there's an actual thing he's swapping. I just don't remember off the top of my head what it is.
No, there's plenty of times he's not swapping anything. Like I said,
Get
unless
off on
he's
the
swapping air or a flying hair strand next to Kaguya.
But even in like the final fight,
You know what I'm
he's
saying?
swapping
It's just like-
the Truth Seeker orb on Naruto's back.
Only in the anime and the manga, he swaps with nothing. He just appears there.
If you say, I mean, how do you know he even used it? In
The anime
manga?
changed it.
He could have just appeared behind him. It's like in Kakashi versus Obito, the mud wall, the fireball.
In theory, yes, but given that there's a precedent of him using Ameno Tejikara to teleport to Kaguya, it's kind of like, okay.
Even that could
And I've
just
got
be
this
a body
here.
flicker.
My ocular powers are back. And then he just does it. He says
Show
my
it.
ocular
Post that.
powers are back.
Post it.
So,
Because I think it could be body
One
flicker.
well, why is he talking about his ocular powers before activating his Rinnegan?
Well, how is he using his Rinnegan before his ocular powers are back?
He wasn't using his Rinnegan
Exactly.
in the gravity dimension.
Exactly.
Yeah, so he gets it back, and then he just teleports to Kaguya.
So, my ocular powers are back, and it goes for the Chidori, and then we get the fight off
Emphasis
screen.
on the Rinnegan. He didn't swap with anything. He's just there.
There's no indication that this is Ameno Tejikara.
Yes, it is, because they emphasize his eyes. The speed lines are all pointing to his eye.
That's just to
And
say
he's saying
that,
my ocular powers are back, and then he suddenly does this.
So-
And mind you, this guy couldn't move out of the way of the bones. If he can just do this, we don't need Kakashi Obito sacrifice, because he can just do that.
those bones are pretty fast.
But he couldn't do it because he didn't have his ocular powers.
Well, his ocular powers come with chakra.
Huh?
He can get there because of chakra anyways.
Oodie.
Kamui.
This
You
is pretty
say
obvious
that,
implication.
and then Obito and Kakashi are able to move faster than the bones. So you don't think that's just
Rin.
an inconsistency?
I don't care how ridiculous it is. Rin threw them. She wasn't bound by the gravity.
She
'Cause she's a
threw them in the
ghost.
last moment. They did 99% of the work there.
No, they didn't. They weren't even close.
Bro, that's nonsense.
Look how far away they are. They're so far away, then Rin just yanks them.
Show that then.
I guess you can't see what I'm seeing.
Exactly.
But still, like, they're very far away, and then Rin just yanks them. So, Rin's omnipotent. I don't know what to tell you.
What does it do in the
Rin
anime?
speed blitz Kakashi too.
It would make it clear in the anime. Which is what you should be using anyways. I don't know why you always, 95% of the time, default to
Because
the stupid
it's
idiot
quicker
manga.
to find it
'Cause
in
it's
the manga.
quicker! Okay, it's worse than the manga. How about that?
Well, no, I mean it's more accurate, I guess. Like, I mean,
No, it's less accurate.
the anime
You're
changes a
crazy.
lot of stuff.
It's not changing anything here. It's only adding things.
I don't know off the top of my head if it was changed, added, subtracted.
It doesn't even take
But the anime
longer.
does do things. You
Yeah,
might
how
wanna
far
see
away
this
are
off
they
stream,
first?
But
Bro, they're freaking running on their own. You're stupid.
I didn't say they weren't running on their own, but
Look at how far
like,
they ran. I don't care how far Rin threw them.
we don't know. No, see where their starting point is.
Bro, their starting point is freaking far away. Look. I'm pretty sure they start like on
This is
top
so
of
ridiculous.
the thing and they have to fall down as well.
No, they don't do that. They start where they are right now.
Let's see. Next to Sakura. Bro, I freaking called it. He does do that.
Obito jumped
So
down,
I
but
don't
not
want to hear it.
Kakashi.
So I don't want to hear.
Well,
Okay, I'm gonna
Kakashi didn't
show
jump
this on
down.
stream because screw you. Oh, it
Well,
doesn't
Kakashi
happen.
didn't jump down.
Yeah, that's what you get for only watching it once.
Well, also, Obito jumps down at insane speed because of the gravity.
Okay. So what's that have to do with anything?
Hardly has a time difference.
Brother, they're going a freaking pretty big distance. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, yeah, but that's definitely a change.
Bro. Bro. Rin hasn't even grabbed them yet. Like,
Yeah,
he's
this is
already
definitely not how it's
there.
depicted in the manga.
He's already there. Come on.
Okay, that is a fake change then. So I'm looking at this and
Yeah. They're
Rin just
still
yanks
going.
them there. They are not shown being there before
Bro,
the Rin grab.
they were like
Whereas in
here
the anime,
before
they were
Rin.
there before the Rin
Like,
grab.
he- like-
in the anime, they changed that shit.
They already had the momentum going. Honestly, did Rin even do anything at all here?
Not in the anime.
Okay.
And the manga it's less clear because you have a panel of them pretty far away, dashing. Please make it in time. Panel of them reaching out, and then just Rin grabs them, and they're there. There's no in between showing where they were before Rin grabbed them. All you have is the far away.
By the way, okay, really quick. Let's just make a random... This is a side note. How long do you think in real time Obito was like dying from the bone ash?
In like anime time?
In real time. For them. For in-universe time.
No. Like
In-universe
Oh.
time. How long was it for Naruto?
same. I don't think the anime characters are talking 100 billion miles an hour. I think they're just talking like normal people. So
Okay, so like
normal
just
time.
give it time, like 10 minutes, 8 minutes, whatever, 5 minutes.
12
12
to the end of the episode.
minutes,
basically.
you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, 12 minutes. Okay. I always thought that it was a lot slower because they weren't in the gravity dimension. I think if they were in the gravity dimension, it would have gone a lot quicker. Do you agree? Just randomly, out of curiosity. Just thinking about it, right?
No.
No?
I don't see why that would affect it.
What? I mean, his like things are more condensed.
I mean, if anything, he seems to
Density
crack
isn't-
faster after the gravity dimension.
You just don't know how physics work. What to tell you.
This has nothing to do with gravity.
Whatever. Let's go to the other stupid thing
He's
that I'm
like
right
the
on.
bones are like spreading, cracking him.
Okay, so here's my
The
visual
gravity
prowess is
dimension in
back.
this Naruto universe has weird ass things.
It doesn't make it clear. If anything, it kind of seems like he does. Just go with my interpretation here. My visual prowess
I mean,
is back.
I can understand the perspective
Naruto
of
slow down.
the extra weight pushing down on him would cause him to crumble apart faster. I can understand that. It's definitely not how it's visually depicted, though.
I mean, it based on this, it does seem like he is just charging forwards. Do you at least agree with that in the anime?
I
The
wasn't
better
looking,
version?
sorry. I was looking
Bro,
at
I've
the
shown it like
crumbles.
3 times. Okay, so my
yeah, I
visual
didn't realize
prowess
you were
is
doing
back,
this.
and then he does this.
Dude, bro, it zoomed in on his eye. I don't know, bro.
That's not zooming
I
in. That's
get.
him charging
It kind of looks like he's jumping, but they zoom in on his eye,
That's
so
not zooming in.
that's
That is
suspicious.
him going forward. You can tell based on the background. Look at the background. It doesn't change. Look over here. It doesn't change, bro. He is definitely
Why would the
charging
background
forward.
change if he teleports?
My point is that it's not zooming in on his eye. Sasuke is moving towards the camera. The camera isn't moving.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but like the point is the camera stuff. The anime studio emphasized his eye.
When his visual prowess is back? Yeah, they would do that. It'd be
And
weird
then
if they were
he
emphasizing
does
his toes.
something, magically appears by Kaguya when they were too slow to do jack shit
You mean it's Chidori?
before.
You mean when Kakashi and Obito were jumping down mountains and sprinting in their direction?
Kakashi and Obito performed godly level feats that make no sense, but Naruto and Sasuke didn't.
Naruto and Sasuke are gods at this point, stronger than Kakashi and Obito.
And they couldn't do that.
They didn't do it that one time. It doesn't mean they can't do it.
So you're basically nullifying Obito and Kakashi's sacrifice, saying it's pointless because they could have done this.
They could have physically done it. Doesn't mean they could have done it in character. In the same way that Naruto physically could have stopped the demon
That doesn't
brothers.
make sense. What in character would make Naruto and Sasuke not dodge deadly bones coming their way?
The anxiety from knowing deadly bones are about to come their way. In the same way that
Bro, they
Orochimaru
don't
fear
have
hacks
that
Sasuke and
problem.
Sakura.
That is not a problem for them.
Yeah, it was here.
No, it wasn't.
Then why was it a problem like
Sasuke
2
used the
episodes
Manatee
before
card.
this in the lava dimension when they couldn't move when Kaguya teleported behind them?
And then they proceeded to get over it and fight her 1v1. Naruto sure wasn't paralyzed with fear when he was beating Kaguya's ass and tricking her and shit.
Yeah, well, he was paralyzed with fear here. Be mad.
No, he wasn't, bro. This isn't Sasuke in the Land of Waves.
Bro's sitting on his
Or the
freaking
Chunin
butt.
Extends Force of Death.
They can't levitate. That's what they're trying to do.
Bro, they're hardly moving.
They're fast enough to move out of
They
this
managed
one.
to dodge this one.
Yeah. How'd they do
barely. Because they
Bro's
were
sitting
barely
on his
able to
butt.
move.
He's dodging it while
And
sitting on his
Kaguya
butt.
says she missed.
That's even more impressive. They move after Kaguya's already launched it.
Yeah, then why don't they move again?
Why would they move right now? She hasn't launched it yet. They probably
To
can
dodge
it
the
again.
next one?
To dodge the next one, they're not in a position, if you look at Naruto right now. Or Sasuke, yeah, they're laying down. It's sort of difficult to get up from that
Naruto
position.
was on his ass the first time!
It's easier to move from a sitting down position than a laying down position.
Bro, they're gods. I mean, if Obito and them can do this, they can probably just do a push-up and jump over it. Like,
Those bone ashes
the point
are
is they
moving pretty
couldn't
fast.
dodge.
At the very least, Naruto probably had other contingencies, such as using his Truth
Bro,
Seeker
Naruto
orb,
could have used a Truth Seeker orb to put
or
in
a
front
Shadow Clone.
of himself and Sasuke.
Kamui, you're negating Kakashi and Obito's sacrifice?
Yeah, so I'm going to say that Naruto, maybe his Truth Seeker orbs were too slow because of the gravity to do that.
They were.
Or
though.
his chakra control would have been out of whack because of the gravity or something.
Okay, he
so
could
that
have done a
can't do
Shadow
that.
Clone.
His gravity makes his hands move too slow.
Bro, he has KCM activated. His hands moved too. He just moved his whole body out of the way. What?
No matter what, the scene makes no sense, I guess.
You know what? It makes sense from a writing perspective, from a story perspective. Say whatever you want about the plot. I don't care.
Yeah. It makes no sense plot. Makes perfect, amazing, wonderful sense story.
By the way, I just realized this is the Bone Ash. Kakashi has to, in the gravity dimension, move like the same speed as faster, actually, than the Bone Ash. Considering he's here before the Bone Ash gets to him.
A while before, seemingly. It's like the Sasuke Haku feat. Remember that one that we screenshotted?
Yeah, it honestly is. Like, these Bone Ash move fast, bro. He's in the gravity dimension. That's what, like, keep in mind, they're in the gravity dimension, and she's shooting these straight, and they're moving so fast that they aren't having time to fall, like, at all. Like, she doesn't mortar shot these or aim up at all. That's how fast these are moving.
I know, she should have to, like, do that.
If anything, if she did mortar shot them, then she just straight up would have bypassed Kakashi. Like, they probably would have adjusted for the aim, but it's still just funny to think about. And she's like dunking on it like it's a basketball hoop or something. But anyway.
Well, anyway, Sasuke used a Meno Tachikara there.
Definitely
also,
not.
let me just go get the Madara. Let me go find the Madara scene real quick.
Go for it.
Probably chapter 674.
Maybe use the flying Raijin in Naruto's mouth? Or a pebble on the ground? Might as well. Look it up.
I'm gonna check. In the manga, your least favorite thing in the world.
I'm not checking the manga. I don't care what the manga does.
I am. Now,
The manga
when
sucks.
Sasuke teleports...
What episode?
Oh, the first time
yeah.
Sasuke teleports away from Madara's lightning attack, there's no emphasis on Sasuke swapping places with anything, and there's nothing in Sasuke's place afterwards. He just moves to the side. So there's that.
I'm just gonna look it up on Google since you're not gonna help me with it.
Now, Sasuke does swap Madara, or
322
swap himself in the sword or something like that at one
Yeah,
point.
322.
Unless he's... Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what he did there. And then let's look at the other scene
Yeah, you
when they
look at the
run.
filler manga.
Yeah, he
I'm
just
gonna
says,
look at the
Naruto,
primary
run
source.
towards me. Yeah, Naruto, run towards me with your jutsu. And
Yeah,
then
he does
Madara's
say that,
just
I
in the
agree.
middle. And he's like, how
Wow,
did I
thank
get
you for
here?
that. Oh. He
In the
used
manga, at
his
least,
sword
there. I
to
just
throw it a
checked.
limbo.
So now, if you go back, I know he swaps the sword into Madara to stab him. What about the first one with the lightning, real quick?
God, I can't even find
Now
what
I'm looking at
I'm
your
trying
screen.
to find with. You're not gonna help me find it. That's cool, the Kage thing.
Yeah, keep going. Okay.
I've been looking at this for freaking 20 minutes
Probably
trying to find what I was actually
the
trying
next-
to find.
Just do the fast forward. Just click the right arrow to fast forward 5 seconds and keep doing it until he does lightning.
The problem is that it takes 5 seconds for it to buffer, so it's almost pointless. God, it's so annoying. I don't have the fast forward version on this stupid player, the JW player. My God.
No, you just hit the right arrow on
I
your
know,
keyboard.
but it buffers.
Should do it.
Okay.
Okay.
It doesn't do anything.
Yeah, Sasuke just teleports. He doesn't swap with anything.
It's off screen.
There's nothing in Sasuke's place. He's just moved.
It's off screen.
No, Oodie, you would see the thing next to Naruto. You would see a thing.
Mater just said no, he didn't teleport.
That doesn't make sense. Wait, actually, pause it real quick.
What? Why am I pausing it?
I
The
want to
thing
see
that
what
we
he
can't
says
speed up.
I want to see what he says in the manga.
Okay.
Hold on.
My God.
I want to see what he says about it in the manga. No,
Keep
that's weird. That's backwards. Okay, because in the manga, he says Sasuke's gone. No, it's not that he moved, implying he teleported. This one's saying he's not that he teleported. It doesn't make sense. So this anime subtitle's just wrong. That doesn't make any sense.
Or your manga translations are wrong.
But they make sense at least.
No, they don't. Mine makes sense. Yours doesn't.
Yes, they do.
Based on my interpretation,
he
they do.
didn't move. He teleported.
So here I think they talk about the range, by the way. The 20 meters or whatever.
No, I thought that was when Madara... No, that's when Madara leaves to get his eye from Kakashi and Sasuke can't get to him.
Oh, okay. Because we're skipping
And he
around, I
says,
thought that's what that was because of this.
No.
Understandably.
Yeah, this isn't trying to get Sasuke's eye.
Yeah. Earlier, he threw his sword through a limbo clone. How is Sasuke's sword through this limbo clone right now? What?
Did Madara transfer the sword to his limbo? Or is that just how, Oh, wait. I think that's Sasuke's Rinnegan vision of the actual Madara right there.
Oh, you're so right. Yeah. Or even it could be that every limbo clone has the same effect applied to it, so all the limbo clones look like this right now.
That would be interesting too. But I think that's just supposed to be his Rinnegan vision. And now you're just getting a different thing there.
Well, I mean, at the very least, it's implying it right here through the wound on his right arm from blocking Naruto's attack earlier. Yeah. So the limbo.
Okay, yeah,
clones
the
always
white
get
one's the limbo that went into the black one. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so he gets out of it through limbo. But how does he get into it? Estimating the limbo's duration. Does he say how long the limbo's duration is? Activation interval and how to counter it? That'd be so interesting if he gave a
I
thing.
don't think so.
Sharp intuition. Nah, he definitely doesn't, but I want to freaking see it.
The Chokutomo Sharingan.
Oh my God.
Not the Chokutomo. The Chokutomo makes no sense. I still love the Black Chidori. I wish they did that more often. Okay. Aim your jutsu towards me. Oh, I got another one for you. When Sasuke just teleports to Madara after the eye swap.
That's what I'm looking for right now, yeah.
Does he swap with anything? Just teleports there.
I didn't notice this before. When he puts in the eye, he does the green healing aura. That's really cool.
Yeah.
That sort of fixes that whole thing for me. At least for that instance. He just runs up to him.
Oh, that's different in the anime then. Yeah, it's different in the anime. I guess he's just running.
Just like
in the manga,
God
he's
Genshin.
just there. I guess he says Sasuke sure is quick, so he could have just run, but yeah, he's just there.
There we go. Why does Sasuke say just his upper body? How, like, I get, yeah, just his upper body teleported away, but why say that? What does that mean or do anything for you?
Yeah, like, what does that have to do with anything?
I don't get it. Anyways. So
oh no! Oh, also, another one. This implies it's not a speed blitz when Sasuke does this to Naruto in the final fight.
because Naruto says his left eye is ... right after Sasuke just appears behind him, and he doesn't swap with the True Secret Orb because the True Secret Orb amount doesn't change. He
And
has
the anime
3,
does.
and then Sasuke does this thing, and he still has 3. The anime changes that though to a True Secret Orb swap.
Okay, the manga's inconsistent. Like, I don't know why you use the manga, bro. So bad.
The anime is inconsistent too on this regard, Oodie.
The anime's more
Sasuke just
consistent.
had another ability with the Emma no Tachikara that they got rid of and used inconsistently.
Nah, you're just mad.
No, it's true.
You cannot show me one blatant example of it where there's no way to get around it.
We already covered them, Oodie. You're
And I already
being
covered
ridiculous.
them as well. Yeah, I agree.
No.
Why do you keep pausing tonight? Are you pausing or is that just my Wi-Fi? Oh, maybe. I don't know. Well, shout out Space. Thank you, Space, for thinking the rewrites are interesting. Because when I was 10 and never changed it. That's hilarious. I love it, Ash. You'll say word. First pick is from episode. Okay, yeah. I got you. Okay, I think this is like not working. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So could you just not hear me, or were you just not talking?
I'm done on this topic.
Okay. I guess you just couldn't hear me. Were you talking the past like 30
No, I could
seconds?
hear you. I was just done.
Did you hear me reading chat and saying hello and thinking you were gone?
No. Didn't hear any of that.
Then yeah, in that case you didn't hear me. Okay. So were you just not talking for like 30 seconds there?
Yes, but also not hearing you, I guess.
Okay. Whatever.
So both are true at the same time.
We just cannot compromise on Sasuke's Rinnegan abilities. This is what I've learned. Okay.
Well, regardless, thoughts?
Jesus Christ. It's a pretty cool ability. I like it, especially in Boruto. That's where I like it the most. Especially the Momoshiki fight.
But do you like the rewrite better or worse than the swapping?
I mean, it's like the same. Cool that it improves the range if we're going with that route. I like that aspect. I think that can be useful in the Momoshiki
It's
fight
not the
especially.
same. The ability becomes stronger, and Sasuke's not gonna like do stupid shit with it either.
He doesn't do
In
anything
fact, he won't even have
stupid
the
with it in
ability
first
to do
place.
this stupid shit, like getting himself choked instead of just teleporting a rock into Ishiki's hand instead. He won't even have the option to do that nonsense. He just teleport Kawaki away.
Well, but in that case, he can't be there to throw down the Byakugan suppressant drug. Or whatever
Yeah,
it
he
is.
can.
The ash. The
You can just
smoke.
throw it at Ishiki. He wasn't that
Shut
far
up.
away.
He's too weak.
In fact, the range of this smoke bomb was like, what, 5 kilometers? It doesn't matter where he is.
Ishiki would have just dodged it. Just gone after Kawaki.
It doesn't matter if he dodges it. It has a 5 kilometer range
My
or whatever
point is he would have just
nonsense.
gone after Kawaki. Like, he's distracting Ishiki by being there. If it's just a rock, he's just gonna throw the rock to the side and go after Kawaki.
No, what I'm saying is, with this rewrite, Sasuke can just teleport Kawaki out of Ishiki's hand.
Oh yeah, he did that anyways.
But he doesn't have to get himself choked in the process.
It's not like that made
can be
anything
saved
worse
too.
for him.
Ishiki could have just killed him. If he
Ishiki could have
like,
just killed
he
him
put
anyways.
himself at. Yeah, but the likelihood has increased.
I don't think that's true. Not necessarily. He's just as in control.
All right, Oodie, I'm gonna give you the options. You can either just be where you are, or you can be in the choke grip of a serial killer. And tell me which one is more risky. I'll let you answer that one.
Yeah, the analogy works if the serial killer has a nuke, just a gun nuke.
No, Ishiki doesn't have that.
He's essentially a god.
You can say the serial killer's in your house and you're hiding, and your options are to hide to try to escape or to be in his chokehold. You're gonna pick hide/escape.
That's
not the
completely
chokehold, I
disanalogous.
imagine.
Completely different situation.
No, it's not. That's literally a situation.
Forget the gun nuke. Forget the gun nuke. I'll just give him Ishiki's cubes. He just has Ishiki's eye. Then yeah, your likelihood hasn't increased.
Like Ishiki's not paying attention to him. By putting yourself in his chokehold, you're reminding Ishiki of your annoying existence. An existence that is making it hard to get Kawaki because of your Rinnegan. In fact, I don't know why Ishiki didn't just quickly rip out Sasuke's eye in that moment, considering that Sasuke could have just done it again to him.
Man, almost like literally every word you just said applies if he teleports a rock in there instead of himself. Every single thing you just said applies.
Yeah, but I'm saying that just teleport Kawaki away.
No, he did teleport Kawaki away.
Into a hiding spot.
Oh, you mean a rock
the
from
point
a
is
hiding
just
spot.
don't be choked.
His life was already on the choke line.
If this ability was rewritten, if Ishiki tries to charge towards him, he could just teleport Ishiki away somewhere else.
Ishiki would be there in a nanosecond regardless. Like, the range isn't going to increase that much.
Sasuke would just teleport him away.
What, 3 nanoseconds in a row, then he's out of chakra? Okay.
Not if he teleports him somewhere far away.
It's not teleporting him that far. If anything, something that would have been cool.
I just don't like. And look, we're gonna agree to disagree. Daigo Knight agrees with me. That's what matters. I don't like that Sasuke has an more OP version of this ability that he just stops using for no reason.
What he should have done is, and I don't mean Sasuke, I mean Kishimoto. He should have had him switch Ishiki with one of the cubes to turn his own jutsu against them, considering they're like suppressant, the sensory whatever. And that gives Kawaki the opportunity to hide because the cubes are so big that he can just like hide while Ishiki's dealing with those shenanigans. That would have been cool.
That could have been cool.
Yeah, turn his own jutsu against.
But also, what do you mean Kishimoto? Do you mean Ikimoto?
My bad, you're right.
That explains the error.
At this point, yeah. Exactly. Kodachi would have done it.
Kodachi would have made this error.
Listen, you're not going to like this.
I don't think Kodachi was writing. I don't think Kodachi wrote the mechanics of the fight either. So I can't blame Kodachi for that stuff. I think Kodachi writes, Jigen wins because of overwhelming power. And then Ikimoto writes the fight from there.
Oh, God. You're not going to like this, but tactically, Sasuke teleporting himself there was the smart move on both ends.
It's more distracting, blah, blah, blah.
Well, I wasn't even thinking about like that, but that's technically a third end in the middle if you want to count it then in the direction. So the first end, you're not going to like this. This appeals more to Ishiki's humanity, his empathy, rather than if Sasuke just like a bug on the ground.
Move on to the next one.
Okay. I told you you're not going to like it, but it is true. It is there as well. The second one is this puts Sasuke in front of Ishiki as well. In the same way Sasuke was in front of Jigen, he could have just took his sword out and sliced him. If it's just a rock, he needs to actually go up there to, actually have the chance to even do anything.
I mean, Sasuke really was just a rock in that moment.
Sasuke has a sword, bro. Like, it doesn't take much.
What do you mean? No, he didn't. Ishiki shrunk it.
Oh, you're right. At least
you talking about the Ishiki fight? That sword was shrunken.
You could have picked up a rod. Black rod. If anything, it arguably does more.
Oh god, dude, the rock's back.
If anything, Sasuke could have done what you were saying. Just freaking snatch out Ishiki's dojutsu. Ishiki wasn't expecting him to teleport there. He did catch him off guard. Sasuke was expecting it. He's the one that
Yeah,
did
but
it.
Sasuke was in a chokehold out of reach. If he wasn't in the
What do you
chokehold,
mean
like
out
if
of
Sasuke
reach? It's
teleported
Ishiki's
Ishiki to
reach.
himself, but
Do you think Ishiki
No,
just has a
Ishiki
longer
had-
reach than Sasuke?
yeah, I think Ishiki's a little bit taller. Got a little bit longer arm span.
He's not.
Really? Do you have an image of them side by side
Oh
to
my
indicate
God,
that Ishiki's shorter?
Let's find out. Okay, I'm shit.
And remember, and just remember, I realize it's only probably an inch, but Ishiki's not wearing shoes. Just keep that in mind.
Stupidest thing you said. This might be the closest thing we have.
That's well, I was thinking like when they're running towards him, Chidori, Rasengan with the
Yeah,
and
but
then
at
he
that
does
moment, it's
Daikoku
right
10.
here. At that moment, stupid thing doesn't show the first image. At that moment, he's like ducked down a little.
He's crouched down. Yeah, and even Ishiki's kind of like not straight up.
We could probably like pixel scale it, but
figure it out. Yeah. I mean, what about when Ishiki's swapping hands with Naruto?
Oh, what about this? They're like the same height. Yeah, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, but remember, Ishiki's not wearing shoes, so add an extra inch to Ishiki.
Oh my God. The shoes are not an inch big.
Can you prove that?
Besides, let's just go with the hypothetical. He's an inch taller. You think he's just out of reach here? That's not how reaches work.
Well, I mean, depends on how far Ishiki. What if Ishiki has a really long wingspan?
First of all, his arms aren't fully extended. Second of all, his reach
Yeah,
would
but
just...
if Ishiki's got really long arms.
The reach would go to his shoulder, not his eye, which is fulcrum-wise closer. Using Pythagorean's theorem, he can easily reach his eye.
I don't know.
Ridiculous.
Sasuke has tiny arms.
Okay. Guess that's that. Ridiculous. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's that.
Yeah. I mean, I would go into my Uncle Tenchi Bridge thing, but we should go to bed.
Okay. It's kind of 5 a.m. and I got work in the morning. I think you said you do too, so yeah. Over and out.
Yeah. At least I finished my stupid alcohol course thing. About to do that tomorrow.